Here on Talksport 2 alongside Chris Owellamo, it's Kevin Hatchard for live commentary of Stoke City versus Leeds United.
Thanks, John. This feels like a massive game for both teams on what is a murky night at the Bet365, when people used to say, could Lionel Messi do it on a cold night at Stoke? This is the kind of thing they had in mind. Stoke, without a win in 8 in the Championship, they find themselves just 3 points above the drop zone. As for Leeds, they know that if they win tonight, they go top of the table. Sheffield United beaten earlier by Burnley at home, but Leeds not perfect away from home. They've won just 3 of the last 10 on the road in the league. If you go back further, it is 4 wins in the last 15. Let's go through the 2 lineups quickly for you. Stoke with Johansson in goal, Wilmot, Phillips and Gibson at the back, Chamada, Berger, Sidibe and Gooch across the middle, Kumas and Moran supporting Cannon in attack. Leeds with Meslier in goal, Byram, Ampadu, Rodon and Bogle at the back, Rothwell and Strauch in midfield, Solomon, Aronson and James supporting Piru in attack. It is a fascinating clash. Just about from where we are, see the far corner flags, but it is a murky evening. And Chris Owellamo, that's going to be one to keep an eye on, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. You know, I think looking at how difficult it is for us, the visuals at the minute, but you know, it's going to be an interesting one. I'm very interested to see how Stoke are going to start the game. You know, I expect them to be on the front foot, high press, go and chase it for that first 5-10 minutes. Leeds are going to be composed, they're going to be confident in possession of the ball, but the sooner that Stoke City defensive unit drop, they have to be then compact, hard to break down and play that counter-attack football. But the players, you know, the individuals that he's brought in, it's not really that. That's not really the kind of their qualities or strengths. So it's going to be interesting.
Well, Stoke are mourning the passing of club legend George Eastham, who we lost recently at the age of 88, part of England's World Cup winning squad in 1966. Scored a winning goal for Stoke in the League Cup final of 1972 as Stoke beat Chelsea. Twice played for Stoke in the FA Cup semi-finals. The players gathered around the centre circle, and there will be a moment of reflection to honour George Eastham.
At this very difficult time. So, ladies and gentlemen, will you please be outstanding for a minute of applause for George Eastham?
George Eastham, not just a Stoke legend, but somebody who had a massive impact on football as a whole, with what became a very famous court case when he helped improve players' rights, and also a vocal campaigner against apartheid in South Africa. Truly a great man as well as a great footballer. Stoke City in their traditional red and white striped shirts, white shorts, will be playing from left to right as we look at it in this first half. Leeds in their dark blue away strip, playing towards the Boothen ends, away to our left. It'll be Leeds United to kick us off, and remember, Leeds can go top of the Championship tonight with a victory right here on Talksport 2. It is Joel Piru, 7 goals so far and 4 assists in the Championship, who will kick us off, the Dutchman, as Leeds United chase the win. That would put them top of the pile tonight. Kevin Hatchard and Chris Owellamo, the former Stoke striker, your commentators for this one. Over on Talksport, it is Liverpool against Leicester at Anfield, but Chris, we have a potential cracker here.
Yeah, definitely. Straight away, fantastic start from Stoke City without the ball, going and pressing with energy. No, but yet you say Leeds very, very composed, forced the error as well. Poor pass out from Struijk, trying to find Solomon.
And Leeds work it to the edge of their own penalty area. It's hit long by Ampadu, and then the header down the line towards Pirou. He's out jumped though, with Stoke look to advance through the middle, and the flag is up on this near side, but there was a gap there for Stoke. It didn't quite work out for them, but positive start.
Yeah, it was, good in possession. I think one-touch football, that opportunity. I think it was Cannon, wasn't it? Just found himself in between the centre-backs there. The final ball, he was offside. He has to be careful of that. But it's second balls. It's so important for both teams to go and dominate that.
Leeds United trying to attack down the centre. The fog is thick. There's absolutely no doubt about that. We can just about see the corner flags on the far side of the pitch. It might be easier for the players because they're a lot lower down than us, but it certainly has got worse since we first arrived at the ground a couple of hours ago. Here is Stoke on the attack, edge of the penalty area. Cannon waiting for support to arrive. The number 9 for Stoke. He plays it to his right, and Chamado, who's made a run into the area, and the save by Meslier is an excellent one. It was Kumas coming in on the far post, his right-footed shot, and it was an instinctive save by Meslier. Just stuck out a leg and managed to block it.
That was outstanding from Stoke City. Woutberger goes, wins that ball in the centre midfield, outside of the left boot as well, puts Cannon through. I thought the opportunity was gone. I thought he should have got the shot away. He held it up. Great play. Chamadou takes it off and fires it across. Kumas has to be in the back of the net. Right at Meslier, wasn't it? Right at him. Any corner that's in the back of the net.
Huge chance for Lewis Kumas there. He's on loan from Liverpool. He's got 3 goals so far in the Championship since arriving, and he is a player with enormous potential. There's no doubt about that.
Kevin, very intelligent player. Just the positions that he takes up, and having that understanding that he has to break his neck to get across the second centre back there.
Throw in to Stoke.
It's a good save from Meslier as well, with his feet as well.
Good reaction from the Frenchman, who has been, of course, given plenty of criticism in his time at Leeds, but he's only 24. It's his 198th game for Leeds tonight. He's racked them up.
Only 24. It's unbelievable, isn't it? It's fantastic.
So young when he came in.
Yeah.
Strout plays it to the edge of his own area for Leeds United. He's the one change tonight for the Leeds team, brought in for Ao Tanaka, and then it's given away really cheaply by Leeds to Chamada down this right-hand side of the area. The cross bouncing towards Kumas. He'll wait for it to drop, lays it off. 30 yards from goal here, Stoke on the left-hand side. They've worked it really well, and the cutback is gathered by Meslier, but again Stoke on the front foot. 3.5 minutes gone here on Talksport 2. It's Stoke near Leeds now.
Using the ball really well. Lyndon Gooch down that left-hand side. He took it to a touchline. I think he has to cut it back to the penalty spot. Sidibe's dropped. When you hang it up, you either have to fire it across. Meslier comes out. It's a comfortable catch, especially just at head height as well. You have to pick someone out. You can't just put it into an area there. And I think Sidibe, excellent movement, drops back to the penalty spot. Lyndon Gooch has that quality to find him.
Leeds now have it with Ampadu, rolling it into the centre circle for Joe Rothwell. Over on Talksport, Liverpool taking on Leicester. Liverpool, the Premier League leaders right now, of course. Leeds just trying to dominate possession, trying to set the tempo. They're well aware that Stoke have made a really strong start to the game here. Leeds have been outstanding at home, having reeled off 9 straight wins at Ellen Road in the Championship. Away from home, not so good, and they're being pressed really vociferously here by Stoke, and Ampadu just races through the first wave of the press. That was outstanding from the Welshman. Tries to roll it to his left, and Stoke able to snap in with the challenge and win it back.
Yeah, I've seen Leeds so many times, especially away at Stadium of Light. Sunderland started like a house on fire. Leeds just, they weathered the storm, but they grew into the game, got on the ball, used it. This is what they have to do. The most important thing here for Stoke City is making sure that they get the fans on board as well.
And we welcome listeners from Talksport. It is currently Stoke City 0, Leeds United 0. But it is Stoke who've had the best chance so far. Lewis Kumas at the far post with a low drive that was saved by Ilan Meslier. And Chris Iwelumo alongside me. That was a massive chance for Kumas.
Yeah, huge opportunity, wasn't it? Chamadou taking the ball off Cannon in the box, right pass across. Lewis Kumas, intelligent football, making sure that he broke across the centre back, the face. Great contact, knew where the goal was, but he has to pick one of the corners right at Meslier. Good save in the end, but should be in the corner.
Ball played down the right-hand side for Leeds. A low cross into the area, and it's actually slid behind by a Stoke player. It could so easily have been an own goal, but they got away with it, and it is going to be a Leeds corner. Wilmot sliding in could so easily have put it past his own keeper.
He had to make the contact, Kevin, didn't he? Because Dan James is breaking down, he's firing it across. Solomon's just waiting. Wilmot has to make the contact. If he doesn't, Solomon's just tapping it into an empty net. Very, very lucky, because you never knew a lot about it. It was his standing leg.
So it is 0-0, but Leeds United with this corner from the near side, the left, as we look at it. And it is Leicester who lead at Anfield. Leicester have scored an early goal at Anfield. Liverpool 0, Leicester 1. Here comes the corner from the near side. It's only just about cleared to the edge of the area. And now on the edge of the area, Aronson with a right-footed drive, and that's blocked. Leeds can try and keep the pressure on with Dan James on the right-hand side. One-on-one with the defender, goes on the outside. Excellent challenge, though. James doesn't decide to accept the corner, moves in on his left foot. So Liverpool 0, Leicester 1 early on in that one. Here on Talksport 2, 0-0, Stoke and Leeds, as the header is on by Jayden Bogle. It was across from the right, flicked on by the right back and gathered by the goalkeeper Victor Johansson. But it's been a lively start. Stoke 0, Leeds 0.
Yeah, good bit of pressure from Leeds, isn't it? Using the ball well, getting into those wide areas. You know, shot from distance, players thrown. I think it was Ashley Phillips, threw himself, getting the block in. That's what you want. And then it has to be a Stoke contact. When it comes into the box, they have to make sure it's a Stoke contact first there. Jayden Bogle with a little, probably got too much on the flick, didn't it? Took a bit of the pace out the cross itself.
Jordan Ayew with that early goal for Leicester away at Liverpool. That's a real turn up for the books. And a free kick here for Stoke, one just inside the Leeds half. Sol Sidibe, the 17-year-old, who is an academy product here at Stoke. He's getting ready to take it. It's his 8th championship game of the season. And Stoke have sent plenty forward. Lyndon Gooch has moved across to potentially take the left-footed ball in. 8 minutes gone. Stoke 0, Leeds 0. And it's played in by Sidibe, and it wasn't a bad ball. It seemed to go over the heads of absolutely everyone. Stoke asking the question about a potential handball right on the edge of the area, but the referee unmoved, and Leeds trying to smuggle the ball away. But it'll roll out to this left-hand side of the penalty area. As they cut inside, they've worked it well. And the cross comes in from Gooch from that left-hand side. He's overhit it, and Stoke couldn't keep it in. But again, Chris Iwelumo, really nice approach play from Stoke City.
Well, it's an excellent ball in from Sidibe, wasn't it? Someone has to go and attack that. You know, that's when you're looking at the likes of Ashley Phillips, Gibson, Wilmot. Go put your head on it. Be brave there. Make sure it's a contact. And I don't think it's a penalty either. You know, I think it was it Gooch, was it, that got it? No, it wasn't Gooch, because it was Kumas that got it. Rodon goes. He's a foot away from him. You know, he's flicked it up. If it's come off the hand, he can't do anything. He's not made his body any bigger. Hands down by his side.
Leeds have it under pressure midway inside their own half. There's a real vibrancy about Stoke in their pressing. They've been ferocious without the ball so far, and Leeds are having to work hard just to play through the press. 10th minute, Stoke 0, Leeds 0.
Yeah, I think it's important. You know, I think you're at home. You know, things aren't really being, winless in 8. It's important that you give the fans something to shout about, and then you try and feed off that energy as well. You know, if you sit and play a low block and say, all right, we're going to play counter-attack football, the fans are watching Leeds completely dominate the game. It's a difficult evening ahead. So I think it's the right game plan, but the players have to then try and get that opportunity, get that goal while they're having this success.
Stoke beaten 2-0 at Sheffield Wednesday on Saturday. Both goals coming after the Owls had been reduced to 10 men in the first half. Stoke without a win in 8 championship games, just 3 points above the relegation zone. Here's Ampadu wearing number 4 for Leeds, just to the left of the centre circle.
So this is something Byram does ever so well. He floats, he's like a winger. You know, I think Solomon, they have that understanding. Well, whoever it is, it's Nonto, Dan James, Byram, Jayden Bogle, that's what they do. They bomb on forward because they are that dominant. But this is where I think you can pick them off as well if you can win the ball in that transition.
Leeds couldn't quite keep it in on the far side. Elsewhere, it is Liverpool 0, Leicester 1 in the Premier League. It is Jordan Ayew who's given the Foxes the lead away to the league leaders. So a real shock early on there. In the Championship, it is Stoke 0, Leeds 0. Leeds excellent at home, but away from home they've won just 3 of the last 10. And if you go back further, it's 4 wins in 15 away in the Championship. Here's Ampadu, who's so heavily involved in so much of what Leeds do, and he's worked it to his left here for Rothwell. Rothwell forward to Byram, who Chris Iwelumo was just talking about with those attacking instincts. Leeds youth with us across the Talksport network at the moment, with Stoke City drawing 0-0 with Leeds. Leeds looking to go top of the Championship tonight with a victory. They would go above Sheffield United on goal difference. Ball over the top by Ampadu, looking for Piru, but well dealt with by Stoke.
Yeah, it was an excellent, he's got that fantastic range of passing, doesn't he, Ampadu? Joe Pro, good movement as well. That defensive unit was a little bit high, there was no pressure on the ball, so that's when I think that defensive unit has to have that understanding and drop. It's an excellent run, timed as well, but Ashley Phillips had to go and make that connection.
Moran was out-jumped there, but there was an offside against Leeds just underneath our commentary position. It is heavy fog tonight, starting to clear a bit, Chris. Your eyesight's probably better than mine, isn't it?
Just on the Leeds half, isn't it?
So it is a free kick, and it's going to be Victor Johansson, the Swedish international, who'll take it for Stoke. There's an argument to say he's been the best goalkeeper in the Championship this season.
Yeah, I think he's been outstanding, fantastic man as well. I had the pleasure of meeting him on a few occasions, but I think he's a leader. He sets the standards, always communicating, organising, but shot stopper and his distribution from the ground as well is excellent.
Over at Anfield, it is Liverpool 0, Leicester 1. A goal from Jordan Ayew early on in that one, giving Leicester the advantage. Now it's with Sam Byram just shy of halfway for Leeds United. Strank works it to the edge of his own area. Rodon helps it forward down the right now. Bogle, that's a nice turn in field, and they've worked that really well. Leeds, a nice triangle down that right hand side. Bogle now looking over the top for Dan James, using his pace. Goalkeeper absolutely brilliant there. It bounced into his gloves, but he raced off his line, took it well, bounced into his own player, and is just taking his time to just settle himself after that. But that was outstanding goalkeeper.
It was. He had to make the decision very, very early. Excellent ball from Bogle, isn't it, for Dan James? And like you say, when that defensive line is high, you're always going to get opportunities with the pace of Dan James as well. But Johansson come out, collected the ball, and I think it's had a little collision there with Ben Gibson as well.
Smashed downfield by Johansson, flicked on by Tom Cannon, who's having a good season on loan from Leicester. He's only 21, he's got 8 goals in the Championship this season. But here come Leeds. Piru with a lovely ball over the top, looking for Solomon, but that was excellent defending there by Ben Wilmot, and then Stoke with the opportunity to break down the right, and Andrew Moran with a loose touch, and the ball just ran away from him.
It was fantastic play from Leeds, though. Stroik coming down that left hand side, fires it into Piru, doesn't he? A little one round the corner, first time, probably need a little bit more on it for Solomon to get in behind, or Solomon's touch could have been better. He had the full half to run into.
14 on the watch. Stoke 0, Leeds 0. Elsewhere, Liverpool 0, Leicester 1 at Anfield. A goal from Jordan Ayew early on in that one. Of course, Liverpool with an opportunity to strengthen their position, given that Chelsea lost at home to Fulham earlier today. We've brought you so much action across the Talksport network on a jam-packed Boxing Day. Ball is loose in midfield, and Sidibe had to try and catch up with it, and he's lost it. Solomon now races to the edge of the area. Heavy touch from Piru has driven him a bit wide, waiting for support to arrive. Goes back to Byram. Byram on the left-hand side, turns away from Moran, works it back to Pascal Strank. Midway inside the Stoke half, Rothwell. Little 1-2. with Aronson, and now they work it to the left-hand side. Good spell this for Leeds United, who will go top of the Championship tonight if they win, but being held at the moment. Quarter of an hour gone at the Bet365. Stoke 0, Leeds 0. Now Bogle on the right-hand side, skipping away from a couple of challenges, but Stoke did really well to stand their ground, got a foot in and cleared up towards halfway, but the pressure is building here.
Yeah, you see Stoke City now, it's a little very, very compact, all the players back in their own half. You know, that front three are sat in defensive responsibilities. Leeds using the ball well, and I still need end product. Again, that's an opportunity for the ball from Dan James to go into the box there.
Stoke trying to advance down that left-hand side, but Bogle has it back. And now Leeds looking to work it down the right. There was a nice little drop of the shoulder from Dan James. They've opened up the space here. Byram again on this left-hand side. Leeds trying to impose themselves here with Rothwell. Rothwell plays it square to Ampadu, 10 yards inside the Stoke half. Again to Dan James, really stretching the play here. Daniel Farke's team trying to open up spaces to take the lead. Played towards Byram, headed away by Chamada. So many young players in this Stoke team, just 21. Junior Chamada. And now it's with Rodon, the Welsh international. Lovely ball to his compatriot Dan James, breaking the lines there. Aronson now scampers to the edge of the area, right-footed shot, pushed away brilliantly by Johansson.
What a save, but the shot, the movement in the shot, as soon as it left the foot of Aronson, the ball was moving all over the place. Obviously Victor Johansson had to go up and he got two hands on it, but he's pushing it away. I tell you what a save that is.
Brilliant from...
Wait to see this from this angle.
Statistically,
it's just dipping just under the crossbar, I tell you what.
Super stop, he got two hands to it. Stoke would have conceded around about 11 more goals if he hadn't been in goal, according to the data. Nice little twist and turn by Solomon on the left-hand side, high hanging cross to the far post. That's dealt with by Stoke, but it drops now on this far side to Ampadu. Ampadu works it in fields. Rodon, who stayed up from the back, but Leeds have made a bit of a mess of this, and Stoke have been able to get back in their shape. 18th minute, Stoke 0, Leeds 0 over at Anfield. Liverpool 0, Leicester 1. Jordan Ayew with the early goal. Now Solomon on the left-hand side, 2 for company, as the fog has cleared at the Bet365. Rothwell working it across now to Rodon, 10 yards inside the Stoke City half. Leeds can go top with a win tonight. Strouk now forwards to Rothwell. Daniel Farke's men keeping the ball well, but can they find a way through? That's proactive defending from Ashley Phillips, who came racing out to this near touchline. The Stoke right, as we look at it, headed the ball out, just 19 on loan from Spurs.
Yeah, they just need to get a little bit more control. I think Stoke and Leeds are completely dominant, using the ball very, very well, albeit not really creating any chances off the back of it. But without the ball, this Stoke side working very, very hard. You know, it takes a lot out of the body, mentally and physically.
Have to go all the way back to the first week of November for Stoke's last win. As the ball is played down the right-hand side, goalkeeper a long way from home, and he got there ahead of Dan James, just booted it out of play on the far side. He had to get that absolutely spot on under pressure, and we've seen that ball over the top down the right-hand side quite a lot from Leeds already.
Yeah, we have. You know, it's always a threat, isn't it? And especially when you have to be brave in your defensive unit. It's a high line. I think he's actually given a free kick against Dan James here. He's been completely taken out. I know Johansson's got the ball, but the legs were up, the feet were up, the high, and just took us over in there, Dan James.
You've got to get that right as a goalkeeper.
Definitely.
Otherwise you're in big trouble. 19 on the watch here. Stoke 0, Leeds 0. Elsewhere, Liverpool 0, Leicester 1. Live football on the Talksport network on this jam-packed Boxing Day. Part of the festive 50. So many live commentaries for you in the next few days across the festive periods. Not only in the Premier League, but in the EFL as well. Tomorrow we've got Brighton against Brentford. That's a Talksport 2 exclusive from the Premier League. We've also got Arsenal against Ipswich. As Stoke City advance down the left and win themselves a free kick. They started so well, didn't they?
No, they did. I'm looking at here. I'm just sorry. Ampadu having a proper go at Perot and Aronson, because they've got a throw in down the right hand side. They're not. They're just standing. He's telling them to switch. Bit of movement. That's what you want from your captain.
So Brighton, Brentford tomorrow. Arsenal, Ipswich as well. That's a Talksport exclusive for you. Free kick here to Stoke, tight to the left touchline, 10 yards inside the Leeds half. Swung into the penalty area, and Leeds struggling to clear their lines here as Bogle just tries to let that run for a goal kick. He's able to do it. Good strength from the Leeds right back, who came in from Sheffield United in the summer, and he's been a really good addition, Chris.
Yeah, fantastic. You know what you're going to get from Bogle with that experience up and down that right hand side. End product. He scores goals as well. He's a threat, but fantastic defending, good strength, just keeping Kumas off there, not allowing any advantage for the Stoke player.
Elamelier drives it forward down the inside left channel. Good strong header by Wilmot, but it falls here to Manol Solomon, the Israeli international on loan from Tottenham. Had a spell at Fulham. And now Strauch. Stoke just in their shape, daring Leeds to play through them, doing exactly what Chris Owelamo has said they should do, try and stay compact. But here come Leeds. It's work to Aronson, scampering around, the US international. Was in Germany last season with Union Berlin, but says he's got unfinished business with Leeds and wants to help them win promotion. He's been a big part of their form this season. Forward to Solomon, down the left hand side. He slides it into the path of Byram, who's inverted here in the centre for Leeds. Has those attacking instincts, interpreting where he should pick up different attacking positions. Stroud moves away from Moran all too easily. Stoke press not quite as furious as it has been, and it's been circumvented too easily here. Aronson, lime green boots, down the inside left channel, out to Solomon. Solomon wide on the left hand side. He rolls it in fields. Byram back to Rothwell. This is good football from Leeds, and they've worked it to Aronson onto his right foot in the area. Shot charge down. Stoke just about smuggle it away. Sidibe with the clearance. It could have gone absolutely anywhere, but it came back straight to him, and then he's caught in possession. But it will be a Stoke throw, but Leeds looking ever so dangerous there.
Yeah, Aronson picking up some excellent little positions there. I felt he could have taken another touch and just created a bit more of that yard and just bent it round the player. He took the shot on far too early there, but yeah, they're using the ball very well. Stoke, again, Sidibe's coming out with the ball. He's getting his head up, he's got no other option. So he's trying to drive himself, and it's Rothwell with the challenge in the end. But that's where he needs an option, he needs an outlet. That's when you're looking at a Cannon, a Moran. Can you go out, make yourself, break your neck to get into those attacking areas?
Bogle away from Gooch really easily on the right hand side. Great run from Jayden Bogle. Piru with a nice layoff, and the left foot shot, it's over the top. It was Dan James. It was really well worked by Leeds. Dan James, edge of the area, onto his left foot, got right underneath it, and over the top it went. It's
fantastic play again. Bogle into Perot, little first touch with outside of the right boot. Dan James had so much time. He's not leaning back. He's just trying to put it right in. Mind you, to be fair, there was a challenge coming in, but he still has to hit the target there. He's looking to the skies. He knew he should have done better.
At Anfield, it's Liverpool 0, Leicester 1. Jordan Ayew with an early goal in that one. Stoke City 0, Leeds United 0 in this live commentary on the Talksport network. Leeds looking to go top with a win tonight. Long down the centre by Johansson. Sidibe picks up the pieces in midfield, but Moran is out jumped. Then there was a loose pass by Strauch, but Leeds got away with it. Meslier now rolls it forwards, and Leeds again work through the Stoke press all too easily. And then a free kick goes Leeds' way about 5 yards inside the own half.
It's excellent strength from Solomon though, isn't it? Wilmot's trying to put as much pressure on. He's got his body between ball and man, just making sure he's protecting it. Wilmot, you can't come through the back of the player like that.
You have to be a bit more patient
than
that,
force him back.
Voice there of the former Stoke striker Chris Owelamo alongside Kevin Hatchard for this one. Ball work down the right hand side here for Bogle. And now a bit of space for Strauch.
Look how high the defensive line is. Look, Strauch's coming into the half. Look how high that defensive line is. Just the right run, the right ball. It nullifies five players.
burst here from Aronson down the inside right channel, but he's overrun it and Stoke have won it back, and this is where they'll look to work it. Back it goes to the left back zone. Little spin and slid forwards to that right hand side, but it was a swift challenge. It was Berger who was trying to turn. Wouter Berger, a player that you feel, Chris, could probably impose himself a bit more.
He needs to do more. You know, you look at the presence, the physicality that he's got. He's box to box, but even in this game, you know, he's poor in possession. You know, he has to be brave. If it depends what his role is. If he's sitting and he's allowing Sidibe to drive forward, albeit Leeds are having more of the ball, so they've got to have that understanding between them. But when he has the opportunity to play, he's got that energy that he can drive past players. I've not seen it.
That's what you want. That breaks everything else open. Then
takes players. It moves players around. If he takes it past his man, it pulls another player out, and then all of a sudden there's space for someone else. He's got that athleticism and power. I need to see it more, Kevin.
Otherwise, it's too static, isn't it? And it's too easy to set up against. But here come Leeds down this left-hand side. It's with Solomon. It's a good start to the game. He's played a lovely 1-2 there with Byram. Those two working really well at the moment. Here is Sam Byram down the inside left channel, slides it through towards Piru. There was a really important touch in there, just to jab it away from him. Phillips had to try and get across, and had he not got there, it could well have been 1-0.
Well, I think Stoke are very fortunate. So Phillips knew exactly what he was doing with the touch there. You know, and obviously Victor Johansson comes out and just claims that with his hands. So at the end of the day, fantastic play. You're looking at Solomon and Byram linking up very, very well. Pero just sitting in that defensive line, just open his shoulders, waiting for that pass. You know, Stoke have to be a little bit more compact. Centre-backs have to discuss and communicate.
Here's Bogle charging through the middle here for Leeds, but he overcooked the pass. He was just trying to slip that to the inside left channel, looking for Piru, and never found him, but Stoke have given it away. And here's Aronson across to Bogle, right foot shot beaten away by Johansson, got down low to his left and pushed the ball away, and he's excelling again for Stoke City. Where would they be without him? And then Cannon can't bring the ball under his spell, and Stoke can't get out at the moment. Bogle wide on the right hand side for the Whites, back for Ampadu, cross to Rothwell, and some of the Stoke players just walking at the moment. And here's Struijk. Home fans getting a little restless, and that's understandable. It's been a positive start by Stoke, but that's rather dribbled away a bit, and you get the sense that Leeds United on a cold evening are building up a head of steam here.
Yeah, they're enjoying the game, aren't they? Leeds, you know, are all getting nice touches of the ball. Even there, you know, they don't need to go back to that defensive unit with the ball, Leeds, but they do, because they try and invite Stoke out, and it creates those little pockets, and they've got fantastic players. You know, Solomon drifts more central, Aronson is in there, Dan James comes from the wide area, and they find those little pockets, and they've got good quality in the ball. That they've got players that can execute those passes as well.
Last Stoke win was at Blackburn in early November.
Victor Johansson was man of the match for that game as well.
No surprises there. Long ball over the top down the left, and Wilmot just sees that back to his goalkeeper. Last home win was a few days before that against Derby. But Stoke are at least difficult to beat here. They've lost just one of the last 8 here, but they've drawn 5 of those games and won just twice. They are finding momentum, hard to locate under Narcis Palak.
But look at this, Leeds without the ball, they're so aggressive. You know, they have a real understanding, not in 1s and 2s. You know, as 5s and 6s, they go and force the issue, and then they win that ball in that attacking third, and straight away they go. But Stoke just have to be braver in possession. Chamadou was here in this right hand side, everyone else was across the pitch. They have to go for the big switcher play. That's where they're going to get their joy.
Here's Bogle down the right hand side for Leeds, just slowing it down midway inside the Stoke half. Liverpool 0, Leicester 1 over on Talksport. Here on Talksport 2, Stoke 0, Leeds 0. Rothwell forward to Piru, tried the first time ball round the corner to locate Solomon. There's so much potential in this Leeds attack. They've scored so many goals this season, of course. 4 against Oxford in their last game, 41 altogether in 22 games, and they're slicing through Stoke in midfield at the moment. Here's Rothwell moving through the gears down the left, wearing number 8, takes on Chamada, comes infield, he finds Byram with a lovely ball into the feet of Aronson, who just lost his bearings there for a moment, couldn't quite bring the ball under his spell, but it's all Leeds United at the moment. They're the team who are really imposing themselves with half an hour gone here on Talksport 2. Stoke nil, Leeds nil, live championship commentary on Boxing Day on the Talksport network as Stoke managed to win themselves a free kick. Chamada shielded the ball well, but it's all scraps for Stoke at the moment.
Well, it is. You know, you're looking there. It's Aronson on the ball. Berger with a great challenge. Chamadou gets the ball. He can't go forward. There's no option to fire it in to a Cannon or a Kumas. You know, he can only go sideways or backwards there, and that's where they have to be brave in that transition. If it's to go back, go forward with quality. You know, you've got Sam Byram up in the wide area, so that the pockets are going to be down the flanks.
Wilmot snaps in with the challenge. They've been fairly proactive, the centre-backs for Stoke so far, happy to come forward quite a long way to actually get involved and squeeze up. Narcis Palak, the coach, replaced Stephen Schumacher as Stoke's manager back in September. He's only won 3 of his 18 games in charge, a guy who previously worked with lower league sides Figueres and Peralada in his native Spain. He was a coach at Norwich, the interim coach at Huddersfield briefly. Trying to have success with Stoke, but he's under pressure here as Bogle rolls it to James in the area. Right-footed cross and put wide by Solomon coming in. It was an awkward chance, but it was a chance. The ball just clipped to that far post, and he just couldn't catch up with it.
Has to put the head on it. Wait to see this on the monitor, Kevin. It's coming now. You know, it's fantastic play. Bogle again driving forward, energy, the quality, the way to pass to Dan James was excellent, but the pass from Dan James was outstanding. He has to. It's a diving header for me all day. It's a great little dink to the back post. I'm looking at Solomon now. I don't understand why he's trying to put the foot up. He's not going to reach it. He's actually touched it with his left knee. He has to put the head on that, and that's in the back of the net.
He got a bit stuck between two ideas there, didn't he? It was an awkward height, but as you say, if you go for it with the head, you get a lot more control, don't you?
Well, that's it. You're watching it. He's read the flight of the ball well, but he's trying to bring his left foot up to make the contact. He knew straight away.
Ball hammered long by Johansson, the Stoke City goalkeeper, who's already proven his worth in this game tonight. Good header from Phillips, the young centre-back for Stoke, but again, they're just not making it stick at all.
It's what Leeds have done very well, is those second balls, isn't it? They've won nearly every single one of them, and that's something that Pelak will be saying, you know, okay, if it's Cannon winning the flick on, Kumas winning the flick on, whatever it is, you have to be there, you have to gamble, you have to anticipate, you have to win that second ball, keep possession.
Here comes Rothwell. He's seen plenty of the ball so far for Leeds, and he works it infield to Ampadu. Ampadu spins out, works it to his left and finds Rothwell again. Byram goes down under a challenge from Chamada, but the referee saw no case to answer. Are coming together. Byram not very happy, just looking at the linesman on this near side. And now it's with Strauch. Cold breath pluming from his mouth as he works it to his right and finds Rodon. Joe Rodon, former Tottenham player, made his loan move permanent. 50 caps for Wales. They've got a lot of experience in this Leeds team. And now it's Rodon again. And they're so comfortable in possession here, Leeds. And Stoke trying to press, Cannon leading that press, but it's all very calm and confident from Leeds United. 34th minute here on Talksport 2. Stoke nil, Leeds nil. Leeds looking to go top of the championship tonight. Here's Dan James, wide on the right-hand side. He's got 3 players for company in the penalty area, but he might go alone. Onto his left foot, rolls it to Piroux. Piroux didn't really have the room there, and Stoke are able to clear it into Leeds territory.
Yeah, but that's where Wilmot has to fire it into the feet of Cannon. You can't play it in behind. You know, it's 2v2. That's how Leeds have left it there. It's excellent play. Like Stoke are playing a 5-4-1 at the minute, but that 4 in midfield are probably the same distance apart as the 3 centre-backs behind them. But look at how compact they are. That's where all the bodies are trying to stop Leeds from playing through the middle, and they're still getting a lot of joy, Leeds, with the movement, because they've got Aronson rotating, Solomon rotating, Dan James coming in there, Bogle driving through the...
That's the issue, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you're setting up in a way that's actually hamstringing you going forwards, it's got to work. If you're doing that and it isn't working, then you've got two problems.
You've got to change it. You've got to mix it up, and this is where you've got to then the understanding of Cannon to say, right, I'm going to cheat now. I'm going to stay up, I'm going to be an outlet. Yeah, there's going to be times you're going to have to drop back, follow your centre back, do your duties, but there's not an option when Stoke regain possession.
Dan James with the cross here, looking for Piru with the header, but it was always getting away from him, and he's nodded it well wide of the target. But again, Leeds United threatening, and again Dan James looking really dangerous down that right-hand side.
Well, if it's Dan James, I'm sure he'll be saying a few harsh words to a few of the players in there, because he can't do any more. It's an excellent ball to Pro. I think Pro read the flight of the ball pretty well there, but he's tried to take the header on. I think he can take it on the chest. Just waiting and looking at it on the monitor, he's got behind the defensive line. He can actually take it on the chest, protect the ball, and he's definitely going to get the opportunity away.
Over on Talksport, by the way, Liverpool 0, Leicester 1 still. Jordan Ayew with the early goal in that one. Here on Talksport 2, live championship commentary at the end of a day full of commentaries on both Talksport and Talksport 2, and it is Stoke 0, Leeds 0. Stoke having taken just 4 points from their last 8 games. Stoke were relegated from the Premier League in 2018. Since then, they've never mounted a serious promotion bid in the last 6 seasons. They've not finished higher than 14th. Last season, the worst of the bunch, 17th, just 6 points above the relegation zone. And in trouble again this turn. Here's Bogle down the inside right channel for Leeds, who have promotion on their agenda. James with a low ball into the box. It just got away from Aronson at the near post, and it skips into the gloves of Johansson. But Leeds are just insistently knocking on that door.
Yeah, they are. It's not a bad ball again. It's like a cross shot, isn't it, from Dan James there? But it's right on the path going to the keeper. Any contact, Perot threw his foot at it as well. They have to do more to try and make sure they get that contact. Wasn't a bad ball.
Lyndon Gooch went long there down the left-hand side looking for Kumas, but it was easily cut out by Leeds, who have it again on halfway. But they've not found a way through yet, Leeds United, for all of their possession.
Kevin, I don't mind Rodon winning the first original header. My question is, you have to put more pressure on
Where's the pressure
the second ball. Yeah. If the ball's going to go long, then the likes of Berger, Sidibe, they have to do more to make sure that they're there. Ampadu can't get it down and turn and get his head up and have a look around.
Yeah, it's been too permissive from Stoke in those areas so far. And you play that kind of game against Leeds, and it's going to be difficult for you. The fog's coming down again, by the way. It was pretty clear for the last 10 or 15 minutes as Piru dragged down. And is that going to be the first yellow card of the evening? It is. Ashley Phillips, the first man booked tonight.
Yeah, but he done that very well, Piru. Came into his own half, actually. Allowed it, and then it's an excellent little take with the outside of his right foot. Took Ashley Phillips out the game. Silly yellow card. Did he get booked there?
Yeah.
Silly yellow card. You know, especially in a game where you're going to do a lot more defending than attacking. I think it's Peru there. He still had a defensive unit to go and get through there. No need to pull him back.
First yellow card for anyone this evening. Leeds have it down the right-hand side. 38 on the watch at the Bet365. Stoke 0, Leeds 0. Over on Talksport, Liverpool 0, Leicester 1. Potentially a real turn-up for the books in the title race there. Chelsea beaten earlier today at home by Fulham. Fulham got a couple of late goals in that one. Rothwell over the top down the left-hand side. Solomon pumping his arms and legs to try and get there, but well dealt with by Wilmot. And now Chamada with some nifty footwork to take him away from a couple of challenges, but his ball towards Berger was wayward. A few howls there from the home fans, not happy about that at all. Here's Bogle now running into space down the right for Leeds. Edge of the penalty area, cuts it back towards Solomon. There was a sliding challenge from Chamada that didn't actually take the ball, but it put off his opponent.
Yeah, very, very fortunate. Chamada, he slid at that one. Solomon, I think your touch has still got to be better. He's read the flight of the ball very well, but like you say, that sliding, it was a bit reckless, wasn't it, from Chamada?
Here's Solomon. Little 1-2 in the area, tried to cut it back for Aronson on the penalty spot, but Stoke have managed to deal with it. Here's Rothwell though. Piru skips away from 1 and 2 into the penalty area. Left-footed ball across, and it deflected off Wilmot, nearly crept in at the near post. But there was Johansson, a wry smile on his face as he dived at the near post and was able to gather it.
Well, the ball went out. That's probably why he's smiling. He knows that he doesn't have to kind of defend a corner now. Little take. To be fair, yeah, maybe
tight.
Very, very tight, yeah. So I'll give him credit. Oh, this is a good angle on this monitor now.
We're just seeing it here. Oh, yeah, that's gone out. Chris Iwelumo's eyesight validated there. He's a long way from that incident, folks, and he got it spot on.
I think it's the smile from Victor, isn't it?
That's just you knowing players, isn't it? That's what it is. Long ball down the centre by Leeds, headed away by Phillips. Part of a Stoke team that's holding Leeds at the moment, 0-0 at the Bet365. Here on Talksport 2. Over on Talksport, the league leaders Liverpool behind at Anfield against Leicester. Forward by Bogle, Dan James skipping away down the right edge of the area, cuts it back, it's only half cleared. James again helps it to the far post and Leeds can't quite make anything of it. Aronson will let it run, collects the ball just in field from the near touchline as we look at it. The Leeds left, now Strauch works it across to Rodon, 10 yards inside the Stoke half. Down the right now for Bogle, who's been heavily involved down this right-hand side. Just puts his studs on it, waits for opportunities to arise. Now Rodon across to Strauch. Again, Leeds given licence just to pick their passes, and now Aronson rolls it into the area. Big chance here. Johansson with the save to deny Piroux, but he drives it home. Second time around, Joël Piroux with his 8th league goal of the campaign. It's a goal that you have to say has been coming. Leeds cut Stoke apart. Johansson with the original save. Piroux kept his head, kept his balance, and he puts Leeds 1-0 up.
It's an outstanding goal. I tell you what, the ball from Aronson, Piroux tries to take it round Johansson, good hands on it. He had a lot of work to do still. Piroux there, tight angle, but he has the quality, doesn't he? He just puts the laces through it into the near top corner. I think comes off the post as well, into the back, into the roof of the net. It's an outstanding finish. Just looking at the monitor again, keeper does his job. It's difficult. I'm sitting thinking he's got to give it back to Solomon there. What a finish that is, Kevin, into the near top corner. Outstanding from Leeds, and like you say, it was coming, wasn't it? Just in control of this game.
Former Swansea City man putting Leeds in front. It's a goal they deserve, but he absolutely rammed it into the top corner. Player who has 8 goals and 4 assists in the Championship this season, and he is some player.
Yeah, fantastic quality. You know, very intelligent. The positions that he picks up. You know, he's a football player. You know, if I'm going to be overly critical, probably shows himself to the game too much because he's comfortable. He wants to get as many touches.
Yeah.
Sometimes he just has to stay away because he knows the players around him are going to create for him. I think Victor Johansson has taken a really sore one to the arm. I don't know if
and he's still down, isn't he, the goalkeeper?
Straight away they knew. He's when Piroux's running away.
He's just getting a bit of treatment now, Johansson. But again, you've talked about it, Chris, a lot in this first half. Too easy for Leeds to play their way through. Too easy for them to find spaces, and in the end, it's one ball to find Aronson. He's in a pocket of space. Then he finds Piroux, and nobody's able to cut that ball out.
Yeah, but you've got to think when you put a lot of, you need to do more than just put a lot of bodies in those central areas, because you've got intelligent players that are comfortable getting it in tight spaces. Aronson, there's not many better. You know, you're looking at Solomon, they're low centre of gravity. Find those little pockets, but they're always they're on the half turn when they receive the ball. So straight away, their first touch is straight away going towards that defensive unit. So what does that do? It pulls someone out, and when you've got the intelligence of Piroux in front, it's just sitting again, shoulders open.
Because if you're there like cones, if you're not actually moving,
well, that's it, exactly. So I think you just need to be a little bit more. You know, you need to have a little bit more pressure where the balls. You can't allow Ampadu and Rothwell to dictate the tempo of this game.
This looks like the goalkeeper's right hand, doesn't it? As he's gone down to try and make the save. They're just working on either his arm or his hand here, Johansson, but he was just yelping in pain there, and they are going to make the change here because he looks as though he cannot continue, and given how important he's been, not just in this game, but in general, that's a big concern. He's got to his feet here.
Yeah, well, the physio just pulled him up by the arm that they were just strapped up. So I'm thinking Victor Johansson's probably putting the foot down and saying he's okay. Jack Bonham is young goalkeeper at Watford when I was there coming through. I'm just looking at the contact itself. Oh yeah,
trodden on him, hasn't he? As Piroe has been denied first time by Johansson. It looks like Piroe's trodden on him, maybe. Yeah, they've strapped up around his elbow, really, and he looks as though he's going to carry on. Bonham had got ready to come on. He'd actually taken the tracksuit top off, was ready to come on and replace Johansson, but they've carried on with the Swede in goal. And we're into the first of 4 additional minutes at the end of the half. It is Stoke 0, Leeds 1. Joël Piroe with his 8th league goal of the season. Man who was on the books of 2 Dutch giants, PSV and Feyenoord. He's never represented the Dutch at senior level, but that just shows the depth of talent they have rather than a slight on Piroe himself. Ball loose here for Aronson. He's played with real endeavour, real fight. There's a real energy about Aronson, there always has been. You go back to his time at Salzburg, you think of his time at Union Berlin, you just know he's involved. Now there was a snappy challenge there, and the referee being surrounded here, and it's all kicking off between the 2 sets of players as the Leeds man down just in field from the touchline. Leeds weren't happy with the challenge initially, and then the Stoke players rushed in.
Yeah,
Chris, it just shows the frustration, doesn't it?
Well, it does, you know. But I think is he going to receive yellow card? Chamadou there. Yeah, it was a strong challenge, and you understand that, you know, when it's on strike. And Byram, really strong challenge. He's struggling as well. Byram, he's having a little chat with the linesman as well. I think the referees handled that one very well.
Yeah, Stephen Martin managed to put a lid on that pretty quickly. Junior Chamadou. It was a body check, really, wasn't it? The original challenge was by Kumas, but then he came in.
2 at the same time, wasn't it?
Came in like an ice hockey player. And that's the second yellow card of the evening, both of them for Stoke players. Chamadou.
Well, I'll tell you what, I've just looked at it on the monitor. Very, very lucky man. Chamadou there, he's came down with his studs on the top of the foot. Really sore one that is as well for Byram.
No VAR, of course, in the EFL.
Lucky.
And therefore...
Mind you, it'd probably still get it wrong, wouldn't it?
You can get away with these things. Can't do that so much in the Premier League and elsewhere. Here's Kumas trying to move down the right-hand side, but the door was shut on him fairly quickly. It is 1-1 now at Anfield over on Talksport, by the way. A much-needed goal for Liverpool. They were trailing Leicester for a big chunk of that first half, but back level now. 1-0 to Leeds in this one. Throwing down the left-hand side for Leeds towards the goal scorer Piroe. So another Leeds player down here. Walking wounded. It was Cody Gakpo, by the way, who equalised for Liverpool. That one over on Talksport. Live commentary for you. Led to believe another fantastic Cody Gakpo goal from range. What a season he's having. It's a Dutchman who scored in that one. It's a Dutchman who scored in our game here on Talksport 2. Joël Piroe with the only goal so far. Stoke 0, Leeds 1. And
I tell you what, it's a really nasty one on Ampadu there, and I think it was Cannon just backing up and then basically stood on the right foot of Ampadu. Really naughty. Knew exactly what he was doing as well.
He's back on his feet now, Ampadu, and we're back underway as Byram takes on a couple of Stoke players down by the corner flag on the near side. The Leeds left in an attacking position, but Stoke able to win that ball back, and it'll be a throw to them in their own right back zone. Stoke, who've managed just 5 clean sheets in the league this season, and it's another game without one. We've had 4 minutes of added time. We'll only have a few more seconds, and as it turns out, that is half-time. Boos ring out around the Bet365. Stoke City continue to struggle. They made a bright start, but slowly but surely Leeds got an iron grip of the game. It took them until the 42nd minute to turn that into an opening goal. The ball slid through to Joël Piroe. He was denied first time by the goalkeeper Johansson, but he kept his composure and rammed the ball in off the underside of the bar from close range. It's a lead that Leeds United deserve at half-time as things stand. They're going top of the Championship. Half-time, it is Stoke City 0, Leeds United 1.
Thank you very much, Kevin Hatchard, with Chris Owelamo alongside him. And, the stats just tell the first story of the first half, really. They're 79% possession for the visitors' Leeds. But, Chris, it took him a while to kind of break that door down.
Yeah, it did. I've got to say, I think Stoke started very well on the front foot, very aggressive, that intensity. Actually then created a great opportunity off the back of that, but couldn't capitalise on it. Leeds were always going to come into the game, they were always going to grow into the game, they weathered the storm, and then we've seen a Leeds performance that was very, very dominant, great quality down both flanks, end product, and I'm talking about crosses coming into the box rather than probably opportunities at the Stoke City goal. But yeah, I think Daniel Farke will be absolutely delighted with his team's performance. The way that they're always going to be patient, they're very comfortable in possession, but how they receive the ball in tight spaces, and that attacking five, that front four is unbelievable, just with the rotations, the movement, and then you've got the likes of Byram and Bogle just bombing forward. I think Jayden Bogle was outstanding in the first half, driving centrally as well, taking the opposition players out of position and then releasing the ball with the weight of pass, the quality of pass, the decision of pass. So I think Dan James will be saying a few harsh words as well to his players, because they should have probably 2 or 3 definitely better opportunities at goal from the quality that he's been delivering.
Absolutely, a few great passes from him. Looking at that first half, conditions seem to have improved slightly from the start of the game there. We've managed to glance and monitor here, and it's the game over in Liverpool is looking pretty foggy as well. But, do you think that affected the players to start with? Because, you said you could see the corner flags before the game, and, it was pretty close to probably being called off before the game. If it maybe wasn't on the radio and on television, it might have been a tricky one.
Yeah, definitely. I think when you're down there, John, on that the playing level, I think it's a little bit easier, a little bit clearer. I think because we're up here, even the fans watching it, probably at the lower tier, I think it's a little bit more clear. Even when the ball, when Johansson or Melee kicked the ball out and it went up into the air, the ball disappeared. That's how thick it was, and then all of a sudden it's cleared, and it's looking quite good just now. So hopefully it stays like this.
Yeah, fingers crossed for Stoke. Obviously, a bit of a worry there towards the end with the goalkeeper going down, Johansson. The last player they really want to see have any kind of injury problem is him, given what we said before the game. Yeah,
you don't want to lose Victor Johansson at this moment in time. I'll be surprised if he comes back out, but it just shows you how competitive it is. He doesn't want to give Jack Bonham any opportunity to go on and have a good game. You have to keep your shot, but you have to be clever mentally as well. I think they'll assess that injury. It did look a sore one. He was in a lot of pain when he was getting treatment from both the medical team. So that'll be an interesting one, but he's such an important player. Some of the saves in the first half already were outstanding. Excellent when he came out with Perot, and to be fair, what a finish, John. I know you're watching it, but it's an excellent finish into the top near hand corner as well from Joel Perot there. So that was you don't want to lose a player like Victor Johansson.
You just said that for that finish, the odds would have been against him there. I wasn't expecting him to get it on the rebound. It looked like he'd taken it a bit too far wide around the goalkeeper. So to have that kind of precision, it's probably why he's Leeds' top goal scorer this season.
Spot on. I was already having a go in my head. He's got to set it. He's got to give it back to Aronson, surely. Boom, right into the top corner, roof of the net. You can't really argue with that.
He proved us both wrong. Half time then in our commentary game here on Talksport 2. Don't forget you can have your say on all of the games we brought you across the Talksport network on the Sports Bar from 10 p.m. over on Talksport. Second half commentary coming up here of Stoke City versus Leeds United, and of course over on Talksport. Half time, it is 1-1 in the game between leaders Liverpool and Leicester City, with second half commentary coming up over on Talksport very soon. We'll hear from some of the managers from some of the teams that have been doing very well and very badly today, next here on Talksport 2.
The unstoppable force of live football. EFL Live Boxing Day Special on Talksport 2.
Talksport 2 is your dynamic destination for all the latest sporting action, featuring live commentary of all the biggest events, including football, PGA golf, horse racing, Premiership rugby, cricket, boxing, and all the big-hitting drama of the NFL. Touchdown! Plus, Talksport 2's official betting partner, William Hill, is always on hand with the insight and in-depth analysis you need. Talksport 2 with official betting partner, William Hill. 18+, gambleaware.org.
This January, the energy price cap is due to rise. But with E.ON Next, you can start your year on the right track. Our Next Pledge tariff guarantees to keep your energy prices below the cap. So if the cap goes up or down, you're still winning. Beat the price cap and save with Eon Next. Switching is a breeze. Visit eonnext.com today. Next pledges a 12-month fixed-term tariff, rates adjusted quarterly to stay below Ofgem's price cap. Your bill depends on usage. T's and C's apply.
This holiday season, Amazon brings you an unmissable month of festive football.
What a fantastic night of football.
Including Tuesday's UEFA Champions League must-watch match.
It doesn't get much better than that.
And 10 Premier League games. This week, watch Wolves versus Man United, Liverpool versus Leicester, and 8 other Premier League games. It's on Prime.
For his wedding day, Liam bought a head mic and hired a backing band.
It's gonna take a lot to drag me away from you. There's nothing that...
Luckily, he moved his credit card balances to his new Barclaycard Platinum card, saving him interest on his purchases and earning him cash back. Offer ends February 6, 2025. Search Barclaycard Platinum today. 24.9% APR representative variable, subject to financial status. T's and C's and exclusions apply.
In the UK, there are nearly 3 million lost pensions.
Find us.
At AJ Bell, we're on a mission to reunite you with yours. In fact, every time we track down a pension, we ring a bell. It's really quite fun. If you love the sound of bells, it's definitely not a little annoying. Can we turn the music up a bit? These bells are doing my head in. Open an account today and let us help find your long-lost pension pots. AJ Bell. Feel good investing. Pension criteria apply. The value of your investments can go down as well as up.
Imagine your dream holiday made possible by comparing cheap flights on Kayak. Walking on an unspoilt goes on for miles beach on the Sardinian coast, plunging into the splendour of an idyllic lagoon in Greece. Ah, yes, this is the life. All you have to do is actually book it. Don't holidays. Use Kayak to compare prices from hundreds of travel sites and airlines to find your dream deal. Search Kayak and go see for yourself.
Hard-hitting football coverage.
On DAB+, online, via the Talksport app and on your smart speaker.
EFL Live, Boxing Day special on Talksport 2.
This is Talksport 2, second half commentary of Stoke City versus Leeds United coming up in a matter of minutes, but it all started earlier on with Chelsea's game in the Premier League against Fulham. Fulham have never beaten Chelsea at Stamford Bridge in the Premier League. Their last win in the league before the Premier League era began was back in 1979. So, of course, you know what happened. Harry Wilson and Rodrigo Muniz scored 2 goals as Chelsea could only muster at 1 through Cole Palmer themselves, giving Fulham that historic victory. And after the game, Fulham manager Marco Silva spoke with our very own Alex Crook.
Marco, congratulations. Fulham's first win at Stamford Bridge in 45 years, and Joachim Andersen's just told me you pointed that out to your players before kick-off. Was that extra motivation?
It's one of the things for me. So many years. Football don't winning against a local derby away from home is too many years. Believe me, it's too many years. I know what represents in some moments the budget, what represents many things that's around both clubs, of course the size of the clubs, everything, but in one moment should stop, and we did stop 2 years ago at home because the record we did break 2 years ago was at home against them. 2 years ago we drew here as well, a long time without a draw, and I told the players it should stop, and it was in our hands to stop it, and the main thing for me, we did stop, we won the game, but we deserve to win. It's not a game that you come here, we're always waiting for something. No, we deserve to win. I think we are the team that control more the game. I think we didn't on the ball. You did really well. I think we didn't give many chances for them to press us like they like. And of course we will conceded early in the goal, create some doubts for ourselves. But I think throughout the game we were growing. And second half, to be honest, I think we did really well and we deserved the 3 points.
You were still 1-0 down with 8 minutes of normal time to go. What does it say about the character of your group that you managed to score 2 goals and turn that around?
What a turnaround, what a braveness, what a character that they showed. They never stopped believing in ourselves, what we were doing. They stuck with the plan, they executed really well. Throughout the second half, I felt as with the better decisions in the third attack. I think first half, our decision making was not at the level that should be. I think we did improve we start to get more bodies in the box second half clear. When you score the goal, the first and the second, Timothy Castanho was in the box as well, and that shows us that what we planned, what we spoke at half time did work really well, and I'm pleased for it. What a turnaround from the players, not the first time this season, and let's hope much more to come.
And as a manager, it must be a very satisfying feeling that your 2 goals have come from 2 of the subs that you brought on to change the game.
Yes, but it's not a coincidence that we are the team with more goals coming from the bench. It's already the 9th, I think. It's not the coincidence from us. It means that we are on the same page clear. I don't want players they happy because they are on the bench. I don't need them. I want them angry if they are on the bench, but they know that they can be decisive in playing from the start or coming from the bench in 30 minutes, 20 minutes. They can be decisive, and Harry Wilson and Rodrigo, they were again.
We're almost halfway through the season. You've lost half as many games as Tottenham, half as many games as Manchester United, and you're level on points with Manchester City. Can you push for Europe?
We are going to fight for the top half of the table. 100% sure was our goal in the beginning of the season. We are not hiding ourselves. Our ambition is clear, and it's not with words, it's with action. It's on the pitch on the match day. And when you are fighting for the top half of the table, you can fight for many different positions there. We are going to fight. Let's hope in the next few weeks, some players, months, we have the players back, because we have 5 players out through injury that we need really them. We need them for us to be stronger, but we are going to fight. Top half of the table clear is our aim. We want to do better than last season. If it's going to be 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, we don't know really, but we are going to fight hard.
Fulham manager Marco Silva speaking with Alex Crook. They are now level on points with Manchester City after Manchester City drew earlier on today. 1 goal behind them on goal difference. It leaves them 8th in the Premier League table. Scroll down the Premier League table, you'll find Manchester United in 14th place after they lost 2-0 at Wolves. And this is what their manager Ruben Amorim had to say with our very own Joe Shannon after the game.
I don't want to talk about that because I didn't see it on TV. I think the first yellow is harsh. And then one play, he wants to reach the ball without wanting to make a foul even, or stop a play, and then the other guy touched the ball, and then Bruno touching the opponent, he was sent off.
Is it an even tougher job at the moment than you perhaps expected it to be before you came in?
No, I said it before everybody. It will be a long journey, and this moment will be really tough, and we are not near that moment. So we have to continue to improve in all aspects of the game. We need to have time to train. And then when you are in this kind of moments in a big club, it's really hard to go out, but we will continue to fight.
And just one more, no Marcus Rashford again today. Does he have a future at the club? Can we expect to see him again?
It's the same situation last week. Everybody has a future in this club, but some things don't depend on the coach, depend on the players.
So we could still see him back in a Manchester United shirt?
Yes, like any other player of Manchester United.
2 clubs who have done very well today, Wolves and Fulham. Chris, just a quick word on Marcus Rashford. Obviously, Ruben Amorim there doesn't really want to talk about it. Do you see him pulling on a Manchester United shirt again, or do you think he'll be shipped off somewhere in January and unfortunately that'll be that for him?
Yeah, I think unfortunately that will be the case, for whatever reason. Man United are a better team with Marcus Rashford involved. Things aren't going smoothly at all with this obviously Amorim coming in. Obviously I know it's understand that the probably season's written off, isn't it? He's assessing the squad, but still you have to be getting results and have a clear identity of improvement there, and that's not been the case at all. So for me, I think you have to bring Marcus Rashford in. Yeah, put him on the shelf. Let him showcase. If he wants away, let him produce performances that then show people that he's worth the money. Because I think there's got to be a lot of dealings, transfer fees, a lot of things have to be put in place for that move to happen.
As for Wolves, obviously they're now out of the bottom 3, which is huge for them, and to have a new manager come in and do so well so quickly, that's a big kind of motivating factor for all the players there.
It's interesting, isn't it? A new manager comes in, it's a clean slate for every single player, competitive levels, all the levels raised in training. He's picked a team, they go out there, they perform. The first game obviously against Leicester was outstanding, and like you say, 6 points from 2 games, long may it continue.
And then for Fulham, I mean, no one was really expecting them to win at Stamford Bridge. As I said there, they haven't won there since 1979 in the league. And Chelsea are going to be kicking themselves because they were ahead in that game and there was only 10 minutes left, and suddenly they're going to look back and go, hang on a minute, how did we come away with absolutely nothing to show for it?
Yeah, they've been outstanding. Only one defeat in the last 10. But you look at the stats, John. Fulham obviously get the better of Chelsea on most of the stats as well. I think passes as well, had more passes in the game. So Marcus Silva, when you listen to that interview, I think he's right. They deserved the win. They felt they were the better team. They were brave in possession. And this is where Chelsea have obviously let that lead slip. You don't have to score again to put 3 points on the board. They've conceded 2 in the last 10. It's not good enough.
Yeah, especially if Liverpool can obviously win this second half against Leicester City, which has just kicked back off over on Talksport at the moment, because Leicester taking the lead but Liverpool coming back into it. That's possibly Ruud van Nistelrooy's joy completely shattered now, because we know when Liverpool start going, they certainly continue, and it's been a fantastic start for the new manager. You can give him credit for saying, okay, well, obviously he's carried on a team from a very successful manager who did win the league with the majority of that team there, but Arne Slot to continue and keep going is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it's a different thing though, John. When you come in and you inherit a team that is going very well anyway, and you're thinking, well, who can I bring in to improve this squad? There's not really too much needed there. He's come in, he's implemented, he's tweaked a few things, he's made them more defensively sound as well. And like you say, when you've got goal scorers, which they have, they're always going to be a threat and able to win any game that you present.
Yeah, they are indeed. Well, look, the players just coming out for the second half commentary game here. Looks like a substitution or two going down. So I'll head straight back to you, Chris Iwelumo. I got it right eventually. Alongside our lead commentator this evening on a very foggy night, it's Kevin Hatchard.
Thanks, John. Very cold night as well, I have to say. Having to combat the shivers, but we'll get there. A change from Stoke, as you say, and it is Michael Rose who has been brought on. He's replaced Ben Gibson in the back three. I'll get Chris Iwelumo's thoughts on that in just a moment. Leeds United ready to get us underway in this second half, kicking towards the Boothen end away on our left-hand side. And they have not made a change in goal, which is significant, because Victor Johansson, as the ball was played past him for Leeds' only goal of the first half, seems to be okay. So I'll run you through the teams. Johansson in goal for Stoke, Wilmot, Phillips, and now Rose the back three. Chamada, Berger, Sidibe and Gooch across the middle for Stoke, with Kumas and Moran attacking just behind Tom Cannon. As for Leeds, no changes for them. Stoke win an early free kick in the inside right channel. Meslier in goal, Byram, Ampadu, Rodon and Bogle at the back, Rothwell and Strauch in midfield, Solomon, Aronson, James and Piru the front four. It was Chamada who won the early free kick from Pascal Strauch. It's inside right channel, and it'll be an opportunity for Stoke to load the box, Chris Iwelumo.
Yeah, I think this is something that was they never done in the first half at any time. I think the first probably 10 minutes where they had a little bit of joy. Here it is then, right-footed. Poor ball in, easily cleared by Leeds, who scored their only goal in the 42nd minute. Joel Piru with it. And a real boost for Stoke that Victor Johansson was able to come out for that second half. He did seem to really hurt his arm in the act of trying to stop Piru scoring that goal. He had it. He looked in a lot of pain, didn't he?
Yeah, a lot.
And then the physio actually lifted him with the same arm. That was a little bit puzzling.
Test of strength, test of pain threshold, maybe. It looked like a nasty injury. He was yelping. There's no doubt about it. He's a tough guy, Victor Johansson. He was on the books of Aston Villa and Leicester at one stage. Talking of Leicester, they are over on Talksport at the moment. Their game at Anfield against Liverpool. And I can tell you, Liverpool have turned that around. Liverpool now lead by 2-1. But they will check that goal, I believe, for offside. But it looks as though Liverpool have regained the advantage in that one. Liverpool were a goal down early on Jordan Ayew, but Curtis Jones has scored. That goal has been given. So Curtis Jones has completed Liverpool's comeback in that one. Jordan Ayew gave Leicester an early lead. Cody Gakpo with a cracker made it 1-1 just before half-time, and now Curtis Jones early in that second half has made it Liverpool 2, Leicester 1. If you want to have live coverage of that one, live commentary over on Talksport, but here on Talksport 2 it is Stoke 0, Leeds 1. You're not missing anything, by the way. Stoke have a player down at the moment. Lyndon Gooch is just getting to his feet. And I can tell you the attendance tonight, 24,738. And it is Leeds fans making the presence felt as Leeds get us back underway. Gooch back on his feet and ready to rumble. And Leeds have it now down the right-hand side with Pirou, the goal scorer, his 8th goal of this championship season, giving Leeds the advantage. Leeds have got to play it down again, by the way. Jayden Bogle in their right-back zone. Referee now comes across to see to him and make sure that he's okay. He's hurt his back, it seems. He's in a fair amount of pain, Jayden Bogle, by the look of it. It was a challenge with Tom Cannon. Cannon jumped into him, Chris, didn't he?
Yeah, I think it's his hamstring. You know, I think it's Cannon's come in, climbed all over him, which I thought was a free kick anyway. He did win the header, Cannon, but you can't climb all over the player. And as he's come down, Jayden Bogle's moved away, and it's either his right glute or right hamstring that he's feeling, so that's a stiff one.
He's moving pretty gingerly. He's back on his feet. It's been a bitty, scrappy start to the half. 49 minutes gone at the Bet365. The fog's back, but certainly not to the degree that it was at the start of the game. Bogle now with his first test of that. Didn't seem to want to really open up and go 100% there. You can understand that given what Chris Iwelumo was saying about his injury. But he lost the ball and didn't get the free kick he wanted. And Stoke have it now with Gooch down the left-hand side, who ran out of room, but the ball smashed away from him.
Don't you just love that, though? Ampadu, when you know how good he is on the ball. There's no nonsense here.
Yeah.
Just come, kick it into Rosie, job done.
Are you surprised by how much he has improved?
Outstanding.
As a Leeds player?
In every way he has got better, hasn't he? And he's the reason he's captain as well.
Yeah.
He communicates, he organises. He probably wants the ball too much, in my opinion. I don't think you see the best of Rothwell when Ampadu play. You know, when Tanaka is playing, Rothwell gets on the ball a lot more, but that's where I think, because he's that comfortable. He wants to control the game all the time, but sometimes he's got to drift away and allow the likes of Rothwell or Tanaka to come in, because he can actually influence the game in other areas as well. But in every way, you're right, he's improved.
He's gone the long way round as a player. It's his 7th club, Leeds United, but he's very proud of the fact that he's captained the side. Nice little spin away here, and then Solomon brought down. It was a rampaging run by him, and he was brought crashing to a halt there, and the referee is going to flash the yellow card for the 3rd time tonight. It was a really good run by Solomon.
Yeah, fantastic ability. You know, he's rolled his man. He's got away from Wilmot far too. Tell you what, Wilmot, and he did receive a yellow card, because it's a naughty little just clip of the heels, and it should have been a yellow card if he didn't.
Well, there was a yellow card, but a couple of them had a go at him. I think it was probably Wilmot who got it. The referee kind of flashed it in their general direction. I think Wilmot is the one that was cautioned.
That fog's coming down again. Did you do what I did and just had a little look at this right channel to see if it was Dan James? I had a little look at the number 7. I thought, right, it's definitely Solomon that's driving forward. At the left side, it's just fog, isn't it?
Here it comes towards the far post, and the header back across and nodded behind. And it is going to be a corner to Leeds United here.
Yeah, excellent ball in, wasn't it? And it was a Leeds head, Leeds contact that put the ball back in. Stroik put it back into the danger area. I'm just trying to see who got it away. Wilmot, I think it was in the end.
You made the point about Solomon and Dan James. They have so much speed and trickery between them. One down the left, one down the right. It's so
yeah, but they also rotate. They also switch
with.
sides. So as soon as Solomon turned his man, you can't really see anything. You just have a little look down.
Rothwell's corner, and the header wide of the target. Really good ball in. They were queuing up at the far post. Pirou was in there, and it goes wide off the target with Johansson well beaten. It was a lovely delivery by Rothwell. The heads went up at the far post, and That was a decent opportunity.
Yeah, it's a massive opportunity, and I think Struijk it was that just put Peru off, because he's standing, he's read the flight of the ball. Struijk then went to try and make a contact, couldn't make the contact, and then he's basically just reacted, Peru there, but all the pace was on the cross from Rothwell.
53rd minute here at the Bet365 on Talksport 2. A foggy Bet365. It is Stoke 0, Leeds 1. Joel Piroux with the only goal of the game so far. Over on Talksport, Liverpool 2, Leicester 1. Liverpool had to come from behind in that one. Live commentary on Talksport of that game at Anfield as the league leaders look to strengthen their position. As Joe Rodon has to tidy up here for Leeds, out towards his left-back zone. Just hammers that into the fans on the far side, taking no risks there whatsoever. Just making sure Leeds can protect this advantage. They've not been anywhere near as consistent away from home as they have been at Elland Road. Just 4 wins in the last 15 away from home in the Championship. They know it's an area they have to improve upon. Opportunity with the long throw here for Stoke, hurled into the penalty area, but the flick on takes the ball straight into the gloves of Meslier. But on a foggy night like this, on a difficult night like this, that kind of long throw can cause a problem.
Yeah, Wilmot, he kind of stood behind Meslier there and then came in front and got the flick. You just got to understand that that's been worked on, and there's no one coming in putting any pressure on the goalkeeper. It was an easy take for him, comfortable.
Solomon now looking to get away down the left-hand side. He's down by the corner flag for Leeds here. The Israeli international, former Shakhtar player. Rolls it back now, nice first step into midfield by Rothwell, and now they work it well again between Rodon and Ampadu. Such calm in possession. Nobody panics, nobody worries. They know exactly where the options are going to be.
Isn't it just an extension of Farker though? This is what he wants, isn't it? He's just calm, pressure. This is what you want, and I think that filters down to the players as well.
That is such a good point, actually, because you want a team to be a reflection of their coach, ideally, don't you? And that's absolutely him. He's won it twice, of course, with Norwich, got them promoted.
Ran away with it twice.
From the Championship, yeah, as champions. Looking to take Leeds up as well, as Sidibe goes long for Stoke, down towards Tom Cannon, who's been a pretty isolated figure tonight. They had that early chance for Lewis Kumas that Cannon was involved in. And here go Leeds again as it's slid forward. Offside flag is up. The flag is up, but it was tight.
Very tight. Very tight. You know, I think excellent quality again. You know, I think it's Ampadu that's in possession in the middle that files it through, or there's a change to it.
A couple of changes here, actually. Gooch is going to come off. He's one of the players being replaced. Eric Boca will come on down this left-hand side. So that's a straight change down that left-hand side. And Sidibe is making way. And it's the South Korean Junho Bae who's coming on for him. So that's quite an attacking change, really. And I think Narcis Pelak realising that they have to try and at least discomfort Leeds going the other way and make life a bit tougher for them, because it's all too easy for Leeds at the moment.
Yeah, I would say so. I wouldn't say Leeds has been as dominant with the ball this second half. So this is when you're looking at Junho. Can he then, obviously a little bit more advanced, so Berger's probably sat on his own in front of the back five or back three, whatever you want to call it. So he has to, and that I don't mind that, but Junho has to be able to influence this game.
Stoke having now shot from distance, and on the bounce it went into the gloves of the goalkeeper Ilan Meslier, but the Stoke fans perhaps somewhat ironically cheering a shot on target for their team.
Well, yeah, he's got straight into the action, hasn't it, Bocat? You know, he's come on, shot from distance, struck it well, but it was a comfortable one for Meslier there.
Eric Bocat, signed from the Belgian club Sint-Truiden. And now Leeds on the move. Sliding challenge from Berger in midfield. Trying to put himself about, trying to impose himself on the game. 57 on the watch at the Bet365. Foggy, cold conditions. And it is 1-0 to Leeds. If they can see this through, they go top of the Championship tonight on goal difference. Here's Rodon out to the left-hand side. Poor ball, though. Just trying to play that first time, and Byram got that all wrong. Not like him. He's been excellent tonight, but that's all the way through to Johansson.
Yeah, with that quality of Byram, he's just ever-present, isn't he? That energy down that left-hand side. Just put a little bit too much on that. But that's something that Daniel Farke is saying about goal difference. It's something after the Oxford game that he touched on. It's so important, is it? Clean sheet. Again, it's of course every game you want a clean sheet, but scoring 4 goals, being dominant. I think Oxford never even had a shot on target, did they, in the game, because they were that good at Ellen Road.
42 goals and counting for Leeds in the Championship this season. But here comes Stoke, played towards Cannon in the penalty area, and there was Stroud just to slam that door shut. He's actually on the wet turf, slid into the advertising hoarding behind the goal, but that was determined play from Stroud just to make sure that Cannon couldn't even have a sniff of a chance. But it is a corner to Stoke on the left-hand side.
Yeah, excellent defender from Stroud. Cannon had a few words as well, stood over Stroud there when he was at the boarding there, wasn't he, and said a few words. I don't think the Stroud was too happy either with that.
Bit of frustration maybe. Here comes the corner then from Stoke City, from the near side, the left. And they've got plenty of big targets to aim for, but the referee seen a bit of pushing and shoving he's not impressed about. Kumas and Bogle tussling in front of the goalkeeper Meslier. And here it comes, whipped in by Junho Bay. Cleared, and now Borka, who's made a good start since coming on, manages to get it back to Bay. And now out to this left-hand side, and Borka. It's a great ball into the box, and the header is wide off the target. It was a lovely ball in, and Phillips, who'd stayed up from the original set piece, guides it a smidgen wide of that far post.
Has to be in the back of the net. It's onside. It's an excellent ball in from Borka. Phillips knows exactly where he is, read the flight of the ball, and there's that much pace on the cross itself. He's just trying to flick it. I think that's where he's got to just make sure the contact's good, but he works the target. Has to work the target there.
So if the contact's better, that sends it inside the post.
No, it can go anywhere. There's that much pace on the cross for the goalkeeper to save that from the 6-yard line. It needs to be an amazing save, let's put it that way. But when you're trying to just minimise the contact, you're making it harder for yourself there to hit the target.
Mellier's down at the moment in the penalty area. Referee just going across to just have a word with...
Is he holding the back of his head?
Ilan Meslier. He's just down holding his head at the moment. We were just looking at the replay of the Phillips chance that put that wide of the target. And we're just seeing a replay now. Meslier got rid of it, left-footed, was just pushed really by Cannon. I mean, there's not a huge amount in it, is there really?
Well, Cannon stood over Strike. Again, what was it, Ampadu?
Yeah.
The stamp on the foot. There, it's a silly challenge, and when you're not expecting it, and you wouldn't expect it, your back is to him. You jar your neck. Anything can. It's a poor challenge from him.
Is that where Narcis Pelak as a coach has to say, look, come on, you need to calm down here because you're not doing us any favours here?
Well, you're breaking up the play. We're Stoke at. You just had a fantastic opportunity. This is when you're on top. This might be a chance for you to get something out of the game. You don't want it stop start when you're actually having a little bit more joy.
Fog is actually getting a bit thicker now, probably as thick as it was as we started the game, but obviously no indication that it's going to stop or anything like that. But it will be a bit easier for the players rather than fans and commentary teams. As the ball goes out of play on that far side, Stoke were trying to advance down the right, but again Leeds just controlling the situation. No real problems for them. We've got more live commentaries tomorrow. Brighton against Brentford, that's a Talksport 2 exclusive. That's from 7:30, and from 8:15, an exclusive over on Talksport. Arsenal, very much title contenders, of course. They are at home to Ipswich. So you've got 2 Premier League commentaries across the Talksport network tomorrow night. Over on Talksport at the moment, Liverpool leading Leicester 2-1. Live commentary of that one over on Talksport, part of the festive 50. Lots of games coming your way across Christmas and New Year. Ball is with Ampadu now, just shy of halfway for Leeds. That's Bogle. Stoke nil, Leeds 1. Joel Pirou's goal in the 42nd minute separates the teams. Bogle down the inside right channel, looking for Dan James, scampering into the area, lifts it to the far post, and there is the second goal for Leeds United and the second goal for Joël Pirou. Pirou at the double, and Leeds United, as things stand, are going top of the Championship tonight. Stoke City cut apart. It is Stoke 0, Leeds 2.
It's an excellent goal, isn't it? From start to finish. Now, Pirou will thank Dan James because he put it on the plate for him, but the ball in behind from Jayden Bogle for Dan James. When there's no pressure on the ball, the defensive line cannot step up and give a player like James that space to run into. Bocat's nowhere near him. He's in no man's land there, and then as soon as it goes into the box, it's bounced twice. Dan James just gets his body across. Bocat can't do nothing. What does Dan James do? He doesn't go for goal. How selfless is this? This ball is outstanding. Pirou is basically 3 yards from goal with no goalkeeper in front of him.
Not only the unselfishness, as you say, but the strength, the awareness. I mean, that's outstanding football, isn't it?
How good has he been today?
Yeah,
how good has he been?
Sensational.
Now, first half, excellent. Always a willing runner to get in behind, but when you've got the quality of the likes of Ampadu, Jayden Bogle behind, you know you're going to get that service and that quality of pass. You know, and what they're going to do, Nonto on the bench as well. It's just like for like, isn't it? It's scary, the quality in depth.
It is terrifying, isn't it, really? I mean, if you were a defender in that Stoke team and you saw him warming up, or you talked about Solomon, talked about James, they've got so many ways that can hurt you, this Leeds team. But here comes Stoke at the other end, rolled through, and the flag goes up just to curtail that attack. Kumas thought he was through, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, actually did put it in, but the flag went up. But they've not had too many chances to expose that high defensive line, and actually that wasn't too far away, but the flag went up, and Kumas, everything he did after that was rendered moot by the flag going up on the far side.
Yeah, it just went a little bit too early. A little bit of daylight and a little bit of fog in between. Excellent run though. The pass was quality, the way to pass. Just, didn't have to steal that yard.
I can tell you Liverpool have gone 3-1 up in that game against Leicester. Cody Gakpo again, his second goal of the night, but they will check it for offside. But as things stand, the Premier League leaders going 3-1 up at Anfield over on Talksport against Leicester. A game they did trail in early on, a goal from Jordan Ayew, but Liverpool very much turned that one around. Here on Talksport 2, 65 minutes gone. Stoke 0, Leeds 2. Joël Pirou with both goals. He's now up to 9 in this Championship season. Stoke trying to make things happen with Chamada on the far side, but he's overrun it. And now Leeds with room to manoeuvre. Solomon waiting for support to arrive. It's a long run and driven over the top in the end. It was a determined run by Solomon. He used runners around him as a decoy and then got underneath it. He hit it well, but he hit it over.
Yeah, you know, he's took it a long way there. I felt he could have released it a little bit earlier, but he had one thing in mind: manipulating the ball. Just took it just to the edge of the outside of the box, always falling away, always falling back, wasn't he? Just couldn't get the accuracy or keep it down. It was always rising.
So making a change here, Narcís Palac for Stoke. Ben Wilmot, a defender, being sacrificed, and Sam Gallagher, who is a forward player, is coming on. So that's going to require a reshuffle for Stoke City. I'll get Chris Iwelumo's thoughts on that in just a moment. Here comes Stoke down the right-hand side, looking to overload that flank, but not for the first time. Leeds able to just win the ball back cleanly and then advance down that far touchline. They've defended really diligently tonight. When you bear in mind how patchy their away form's been, it's been a really professional display so far from a team that, as things stand, is going top of the Championship tonight.
Yeah, but like you say, I've said I've covered a lot of Leeds games away. They have been dominant. They just haven't. They've had a lot of the ball without creating chances off the back of it. Stoke have now went to a 4 at the back. Now obviously Sam Gallagher with a 2 up top. You know, I'm surprised that the likes of the qualities and attributes of Sam Gallagher, that he wasn't probably the starting this game tonight with that physicality, winning his aerial duels, bringing other players in.
Aronson's just been run off the ball, but Leeds do have it back, and it's rolled into the penalty area looking for the American Brendan Aronson, but Johansson is able to clear there for Stoke City into the Leeds half. That fog probably the worst it's been, actually, but the players not discomforted, and the referees show no sign whatsoever of it being an impediment to play. This is exactly what people had in mind when they used to say, could Lionel Messi do it on a cold evening away at Stoke? This is exactly what they were talking about. I imagine he probably
I'm sure
could.
The answer would be yes to that, yes, definitely.
Yeah, I think you could put him on the moon and he'd probably score 6. Put him in a swimming pool, he'd probably get a hat-trick, I imagine. Yeah. It's going to be a free kick here for Stoke, just inside the Leeds half. That goal for Liverpool, by the way, was disallowed, so it is still Liverpool 2, Leicester 1. You can hear the closing stages of that one over on Talksport, should you so wish. Here it's Stoke 0, Leeds 2, but Stoke have a free kick here on the right hand side, 10 yards inside the Leeds half. Curling ball flicked on, headed away by Ampadu, didn't quite fall for Rose on the edge of the area. Good surge there by Bay, but chose the wrong pass at the end of it. And now Jayden Bogle should clear for Leeds, and does, up towards halfway. Here is the South Korean, Junho Bay. And then Phillips came across and has just kind of jarred himself there. Ashley Phillips just walking gingerly back to his defensive position.
Yeah, I thought that was an opportunity there for Junho Bay to get a shot away. Kind of worked it very well, came into the central area, coming into the outside the 18-yard box, and then it's one of them, has to let the shot go, trying to you can't, too many passes to try and get into those areas.
Ball breaks for Bay down that left-hand side. He's shut down though by Bogle, who's had a good night tonight at right back. It's hard to find too many Leeds players who haven't actually excelled tonight. It's part of a really good team display here on Talksport 2. Part of a packed Boxing Day schedule across the Talksport network. Part of the festive 50. Commentaries all the way through the Christmas and New Year period for you. Continuing tomorrow with a couple of commentaries from the Premier League. Brighton against Brentford on Talksport 2. Arsenal Ipswich on Talksport. And a throw here for Stoke City, just inside Leeds territory, just in front of Narcis Pelak. What a tough time it's been for him so far, trying to bed in a new style, trying to get his ideas across, but the Championship's an unforgiving league, and this is a club that's been underperforming for a while, given the resource, given the size.
Yeah, and you know what, there's already a minority of fans that want Pelak out, and I just don't understand. You can't keep changing the manager and starting again. You know, these aren't his players. He's inherited this, and then he's trying to implement his style. Has to be given time.
John Walters, the sporting director, of course, such a famous Stoke player, has had a fair bit of heat as well off the fans. But if you change him and you change the manager, then it really is a clean slate, and you're constantly chasing your tail, aren't you? You can't succeed in that way. I mean, you look at what's happening with Manchester United at the moment. We brought you their defeat at Wolves earlier in the Talksport network. They're struggling under Ruben Amorim, but he keeps saying to Manchester United fans, look, it's going to take a year, and it might take longer. I think so, we'll get there in the end, but you've got to wait. Football fans are notoriously patient though, so I'm sure it will be fine. Forward by Boca to Bay down the left-hand side, and Bay went for the return pass, and the ball was poor. And it's that kind of moment that's just tripping Stoke up at the moment. Basic passes, it's tough in the heat of the battle to find that composure, find that quality. Daniel Farke, who is a German, should be used to these conditions, quite frankly. He's there in his padded coat, hands thrust into his pocket. He'll be really pleased with what he's seen so far. 72 on the watch. It is Stoke 0, Leeds 2. Joel Pirou with both goals. One in the first half, one in the second. Bogle in the right back zone for Leeds. Works it in fields for Rothwell. It's had a really tidy performance, Rothwell, and just as I say that, commentator's curse gives it away. And now Stoke rolling into the area. Cannon's cross was early. There was nobody coming in for Stoke there. If he actually got his head up, there were some options, but he played it blind.
Spot on, and that's what he had to do. Just pick someone out. He just put it into an area. There was no need. Stroik could actually just pass it to Rodon and play out.
Here's Solomon onto his right foot, space opening up, and he went for the curler, and he didn't miss by much. It goes wide of the far post. It was a lovely jink onto his right side. He's been a threat all night, but it is the Stoke goal kick.
Yeah, he's been wanting that goal, hasn't he? He's just trying to use Rose in front of him, just trying to bend it round him. Unsighting Victor Johansson just couldn't get the bend on the accuracy on the shot.
Super footballer. He's played Champions League for Shakhtar Donetsk. He's impressed for Fulham. Hasn't quite happened for him at Tottenham, but he had a serious injury, so he's trying to play his way back into some form. Leeds are preparing. Change here. Willie Gnonto's going to come on, and that is exactly what you don't want as a defender with tired legs, tired minds. Nellier calmly plays to Rothwell. This is one of the big compliments you have to give, really.
Now that is scary, isn't it? Probably Solomon and Dan James coming off, Gnonto and Ramazani coming on. It's like,
good luck with that.
All the best.
But that's what you have to deal with if you Stoke. You have these big hitters, you have incredible depth. The Championship has so many teams trying to win promotion, teams who've come down in the last few seasons from the Premier League. That's the reality. Dan James through the centre, tried to play it through for Solomon, and they were able to clear there, Stoke City. But you have to say a third Leeds goal looks more likely than a Stoke first goal.
Yeah, just using the ball better, aren't they? You know, I think Stoke are having little moments, but it's 1-2 passes and then unforced error, giving the ball away. Leeds are patiently building up, playing through the thirds, and then, like you say, getting opportunities.
Manor Solomon, 20 yards out, tries to roll it to Aronson. Didn't quite work out for the American, but Leeds have it again. Every time Stoke clear it, it's just coming back at them. Piru, who scored twice tonight. Leeds 2-0 up, heading for the top of the Championship. Piru on a hat-trick, rolls it into the penalty area, and it's smuggled behind by Stoke for a corner. Leeds putting on the pressure as we move into the final quarter of an hour at the Bet365. Leeds readying this double change. Laji Ramazani and Willie Gnonto ready to come on. So Gnonto will come on for Dan James, and Solomon makes way. Ramazani ready to come on. Fresh legs on both flanks, and both players, Chris Owellamo, have been outstanding tonight.
Yeah, I think excellent. You know, I think really wanting the ball, fantastic outlets, end product, taking players on, being direct. You know, I think Daniel Farker will give them a little high five and commend them. I'm sure Dan James in the first half could have created 4 goals, you know, with the quality of deliveries that he was in, and obviously second half he was outstanding again. So no, and it's scary when you're looking at Gnonto coming on, and the players that they've let go as well. Leeds, the quality and depth is still ridiculous.
So the double change is made, and a corner from the far side, the left, for Leeds United. 2-0 up with 76 gone. It's whipped in right-footed towards the near post, headed away by Stoke. The volley from the edge of the area goes wide of the target. It was Brendan Aronson through the gloom who let it drop onto his right foot. He just shanked it a bit, but it shows the ambition and the confidence they have that he even tried it.
Yeah, another player who's been really impressive tonight. You know, moving, rotating, getting on the ball, you know, making things happen. You know, I think he's shown real experience, but always willing. You know, when Leeds lose possession, boom, that 4-5 with aggression. He's one of the first.
Strong header away by Rose, but here come Leeds again. Every time they clear it, it's coming back at them, and it's rolled into the box now. Piru on a hat-trick. He's taken himself a little bit wide, and it goes behind for the corner. Piru just held up really well there, couldn't get his shot away.
Yeah, I think it was one of them that he should have just taken a touch and shot straight away. As soon as he's trying to run the defender, got the body. I think it was Ashley Phillips. I think it was just got the challenge in.
Another corner for Leeds. Liverpool 3-1 up against Leicester over on Talksport. Mo Salah with the goal for the league leaders. Here is the Leeds corner. It's a poor one, doesn't beat the first man. Easily cleared at that near post. It was Gallagher who cleared it. We've barely seen him in an attacking sense since he came on. They're preparing another change here, Stoke City, but this game increasingly getting away from them. So Mo Salah yet again affecting a Liverpool game. Closing stages of that one over on Talksport. Here on Talksport 2, Leeds United 2-0 up at Stoke. The ball with Meslier here, the Leeds goalkeeper, who's been drastically underemployed from the Stoke point of view. Phillips with a volley clear for Stoke. Bogle's header. And the gap between these two teams has been pretty stark tonight, it has to be said. And Bosun Lawal is going to come on. And he will replace Wouter Berger. You did say, Chris Iwelumo, earlier on that you wanted Berger to impose himself, wanted him to put himself about. Has he done that for you tonight?
No, he hasn't. And you know, even like the changes when the manager makes these in-game changes to try and influence the game, Sam Gallagher's come on. You have to then play to the strengths. You have to be a little bit more direct, quality into the chest, into the feet, aerial duels, whatever it may be. But they haven't done that. He's hardly touched the ball since he's come on.
Ayo Tanaka is going to come on. Piru being withdrawn, Rothwell being withdrawn, so Tanaka is on for Rothwell. And the hero of the hour, Joel Piru, makes way, and young Matteo Joseph will come on. 21-year-olds.
Yeah, he's worked very hard in the summer, Kevin. You know, he's come back, that's more physical, you know, bigger. He's just one of them. He has had opportunities in front of goal as well. He just hasn't taken them, only the one league goal.
It's his 23rd appearance. He's only started 10, but he's been regularly involved. He's only 21. Spanish youth international. Did switch from being an England youth international. Did signal that change by wearing a Spain's shirt to training earlier in the summer, which I'm sure didn't go down universally well. But a player of real promise who has a couple of goals in the league this season.
Yeah, and Tanaka as well. Kevin, I'm a big fan of Tanaka.
Here's Matteo Joseph straight away. Slides it to Ramazani. They're queuing up in the middle, but the cross was actually fizzed a bit too hard across the face of goal. And nobody able to latch onto it. And we're in the final 10 minutes at the Bet365. And it is Stoke City 0. Leeds 2. Stoke just 3 points above the relegation zone. It'll be no wins in 9, 4 points in that spell. It's a grim picture for fans of the Potters, no doubt about it.
And Sunderland up next here on the 29th.
Yeah.
Doesn't get any easier.
Another home game, but another tough opponent.
It is the Championship.
Leeds away on the 29th. They're away at Derby. So not an easy game for them. Another test away from home. But after this performance, it's one I'm sure they'll relish. Be interested to see what Daniel Farke says later on. But I would think he'll be very pleased with this. Be interested to see what Narcís Pelak thinks of his team's performance. But it was always going to be tough tonight. Bogle rolls it into the Stoke penalty area, knocked away rather by Phillips under pressure.
Well, you say that and you look at the opportunities, you know, the Kumas opportunity,
that was the one, wasn't it?
And then Ashley Phillips' header as well. And they've had big moments where you just have to be a little bit more clinical in those moments, but a little bit more ruthless.
Yeah, that would have been 1-1 if that had gone in from Phillips. Here's Bogle trying to get around challenge of Booker. There's been a lively presence on that left-hand side, but defied by Dan James in the build-up to the second goal. He's under pressure here. The thing we haven't probably talked about enough, actually, we talked a lot about Leeds going forward, talked about the defending. They're pressing at times. It's selective, isn't it? But it's very, very targeted and very smart.
No, it is. You know, and that comes from information from the back. If it's Ampadu and that holding midfield role, he gives information and they go 5-6, go and press. They win the ball in, like you say, the middle or attacking third, and straight away They know exactly in that transition what they're going to do, and it's obviously more often than not a chance at the end of it.
It's always been a big part of Daniel Farke's coaching. It's one thing to have possession, it's one thing to have that attack-minded approach, but they press so well, his teams, so well organised. Here's Joseph, long, languid stride. He's eating up the ground here, edge of the penalty area. It's a brilliant run, and his curling effort goes wide of the target. I tell you what, Victor Johansson had given up on that. He thought that was bending in just inside the far post, but it goes wide.
Yeah, it was fantastic quality, wasn't it? You know, he's driving forward. It's just that the movement, just trying to use Michael Rose, bend it round him. But Victor Johansson, he wasn't getting there if it was on target.
Over on Talksport, Liverpool 3, Leicester 1. Here on Talksport 2, Stoke 0, Leeds United 2. Live commentary on Boxing Day from both the Premier League and the Championship. Yes, Leeds have it on the edge of their own penalty area. They've been so calm in these areas. Stoke trying to press, trying to upset them, but Leeds seem to find a way through almost every time. Incidentally, Sky Bet have pledged £1,000 to the British Heart Foundation for each goal on Boxing Day, so it's been very lively in the EFL. Glad to say another couple of goals worth added to the total tonight. Long throw by Bogle down the right hand side. The header from Bocca drops now to Nonto. Not really seen much of him since coming on. Player who is an Italian international, who has scored for the Italy team. He's got 4 goals and 5 assists in the Championship this season. Still only 21. It's remarkable, isn't it, really? He won the title with Zurich a few seasons ago, and they won that title completely against the odds, and he was a massive part of that. We find that more and more these days. You look at some of these young players, 21, 22, 23, and you look at the CV. Played hundreds of games, they've won things. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's outstanding.
It's well won back by Ampadu. He's been almost faultless tonight, I would say. He's found Joseph. Joseph has got Ramazani ahead of him, and he's tried to feed it through to him, and Stoke did well there, actually. Touch from Shamada initially, and then Rose able to clear it.
See, I think Matteo Joseph has to do better there. Had a lot of room for error. He can actually put a lot of pace on the ball there, because he just ran into the Stoke City half. Ramazani has the full half to run into. It doesn't have to be a pin perfect pass. Just put a little bit more pace
into
on
that area.
Yeah, just put it into that area. Ramazani's already going to have the legs on Michael Rose there.
It's been a cold, dank, foggy night. It's the kind of conditions you would have loved.
Oh, definitely.
Thought so. His eyes lit up as he arrived. I could see. He's thrilled. It's going to be freezing. Great.
That's always cool to you.
Ball is worked to the right-hand side, and Bogle faced by Junho Bay, who is a player of real quality, but he's not been able to impose himself in a difficult situation. Coming into the game with his team in a hole. Now the ball played over the top by Leeds. Nonso after it, and the goalkeeper did brilliantly. Johansson, great starting position, able to head it clear, but here's Joseph, rolls it through to Bogle in the area, plays it to the far post brilliantly, swept behind, it needed to be. That was excellent defending, because they'd really been opened up there, and Ben Gibson able to just sweep that one behind for a corner.
Yeah, excellent quality again down this right hand side. Jayden Bogle takes that touch, and then you know what, he tries to fire it across, and Michael Rose, I've got to say, he done very, very well, didn't he?
Ben Gibson would have had a job. He went off at half time, so
but like you say, I think when you're saying about the pressing of Leeds, you know, when you're in such control of the game and you've got a lot of the ball, you can restore a lot. You've got a lot of your energy still, so when you lose it, you can go after it with aggression.
Corner to Leeds. It'll be Ramazani to take it. Right-footed, flicked on at the near post. It was bouncing around the penalty spot, only half cleared. Aronson, left foot shot, and that was tipped over by the goalkeeper brilliantly. He hit that really well, Brendan Aronson. It was flying towards goal, and Johansson threw up a hand and tipped it over the top.
Yeah, it's a fantastic strike, isn't it? I'm looking at it, you know, I think that, yeah, he's got the tip of the fingers on it. The ball was always rising. I'm not sure if it was going to dip. think maybe clipped the top of the bar and over, but Victor Johansson still had to get some sort of contact on it there. He wasn't to know.
Ramazani with another corner towards the far post, free header, and then touched over the top from close range. It was an awkward chance for Matteo Joseph, but it was an opportunity. He couldn't quite find the target. They are knocking on the door of a third goal here, Leeds. They are totally dominant in the 88th minute, 2-0 up at the Bet365 against Stoke City, and just around us a few Stoke fans start to leave.
Yeah, it's always the case. I'm looking here, Matteo Joseph, he's done ever so well, got in behind Boca there, and Boca's arms are all over him there, and he's trying still just to go for the ball. Matteo Joseph, if he goes to floor, the referee has no other option to give a penalty kick there. Boca's got to be careful, go round the back, you can't put your arms round the player.
But of course, as a complete non-cynic, Chris, you wouldn't advocate going down, surely?
No, of course not.
No. Understand, by the way, there are going to be 9 additional minutes at Anfield. They're well into those over on Talksport, so if you want to listen to the closing stages of that one, live commentary over on Talksport. We've got the final minutes of this one here on Talksport 2 with Leeds set to go top of the Championship. Joël Pirou with both goals, one in the first half, one in the second, as Bosun Lawal, 21-year-old Republic of Ireland youth international, goes down, wins a free kick for Stoke. Is Moran struggled to really make an impact on the game. Andrew Moran on loan from Brighton. Again, the young players, so many young players in this Stoke team, and when you're on a run like this, it's really difficult to build that confidence. Such a difficult job for Narcis Palak, isn't it? Because he's arrived here with the team already struggling, wanted to change the style, wanted to change the approach, lots of young players. It just isn't happening for him in terms of wins. How do you lift the group? How do you connect with the fans in a situation like this?
Well, this is the thing. The only way you're going to connect with the fans is by winning games. They have to see real improvement, but these aren't his players. So if he doesn't believe they're good enough, he can't tell them they're not good enough, because there's not a transfer window that he can change it. So he has to try and manipulate it. He's got to try and galvanise them. He's got to coach them and make them better, but at the same time get results off the back of it. It's difficult.
You have to be given room, but you have to get those results at some stage.
He has to be given time. Fans that are calling for him to be sacked for what?
Well, who comes in then? And then what?
At least give him a couple of transfer windows to try and influence this squad in the way that he can.
Of course, the thing that will pull the lever maybe is if they do slip into the relegation zone. 3 points clear of the drop zone at the moment. Long ball towards Gallagher, who's barely touched the ball since coming on. He tried to spin there on the edge of the Leeds area. We're going to have 5 minutes of additional time. Leeds are going to make another change here by the look of it. Going to bring on Isaac Schmitz, who is a Swiss youth international, former St. Gallen player, and he's going to come on and he'll replace Sam Byram on the left hand side of that defence. Byram's had another great game.
Yeah, you know what you're going to get, don't you, from the fullbacks from wide areas, both sides. Outstanding energy, end product. Sam Byram, some excellent quality into the box, but he's always supporting obviously Ramazani Solomon for more of the game. But Daniel Farke, they're delighted with him.
It was his 199th Leeds appearance tonight, so he might bring up the big 200 away at Derby on the 29th. Stoke's next game, as we discussed a few minutes ago, at home to Sunderland. The tough games just keep on coming. They're into the 6th minute of stoppage time at Anfield. Liverpool still 3-1 up against Leicester. Leicester did lead early on in that one. Jordan Ayew, Cody Gakpo double and a goal from Mo Salah have turned it round. Chamada down the inside right channel for Stoke. Midway inside the Leeds half. Going the long way round here. Forced to go the long way round and then made a bit of a mess of it. And the ball got away from him. And just nothing is going Stoke City's way at the moment.
Yeah, just that end product, isn't it? That final decision, final little bit of quality has to be better. Not done enough for me tonight. You talk about second balls, duels all over the pitch. Just second best. And then when the opportunities do present themselves, they have to be you have to be ruthless. You have to put them. You have to walk the goalkeeper. You have to put them in the back of the net.
Mellier's goal kick. We are into the third of 5 additional minutes. Flick on by Leeds to the edge of the area. Ramazani cuts it back and it goes all the way across the face of goal, but the flag's up in any case. Just going forward, Chris, you've seen a lot of Leeds this season. We know they're going ahead of Sheffield United on goal difference. Blades beaten by Burnley. Burnley very much in the mix. Do Leeds look the best team in the Championship for you right now?
Yeah, I have to say they do. You know, albeit, you know, Burnley have started scoring goals. You know, Scott Parker's, they're still doing double sessions. And what he's saying, he says, look lads, buy into it. Come the likes of January, February, March, he says this is when it'll all pay off. But they've kind of in a little bit of a groove at the minute. They've had some difficult games and they're getting the points and getting the results. So I do feel that Leeds are the best team that I've seen, but they have to start addressing the away, and this performance has been outstanding. What did you say, Derby away again next game? That's a massive game, isn't it, off the back of this?
Feels like a step in the right direction tonight. Yes, Stoke in poor form, yes, low on confidence, but you've still got to come up with the right result and the right performance, and they've done both tonight. Schmidt down the left-hand side. Now it's Nonto in space, lots of space. 25 yards out, right foot shot, and it dribbles away towards the right wing. I think it must have flicked off a Stoke player. He's still down, Nonto, actually. Here's Matteo Joseph moving in off the right wing. There's Tanaka, the former Fortuna Düsseldorf player who's been a big hit for Leeds since coming in. Just calmly plays it back to Rodon and all the way back to Meslier. It's a situation when there's just over a minute separating Leeds from the win that takes them top of the Championship tonight on Boxing Day. Plenty of action has come your way on the Talksport network. Commentaries all the way through the Christmas and New Year period. And we've got you covered.
Yeah, I think Nonto's took a very sore one there. I think as he's went to take the shot, there's been a challenge. I thought it was a free kick. Initially, I've not had another look at it on the monitor, but he is struggling with his right ankle.
Of course, it is a busy festive period. The Championship's always relentless anyway. And Daniel Farke well aware of the work that's required, but had them in for some work on Christmas Eve, had them in for some work on Christmas Day. They travelled on Christmas Day. Liverpool have won 3-1 against Leicester, strengthened their position in the title race because Chelsea lost at home to Fulham earlier today. Arsenal play tomorrow night against Ipswich live on Talksport. And the referee blows the final whistle. Boos ring out the Bet365. Stoke's poor run continues. 9 without a win for them in the Championship, but Leeds top of the division tonight. Both goals from Joel Pirou, one in the first half, one in the second. Stoke had their chances but didn't take them. One for Lewis Kumas right at the start of the game, which was saved by Ilan Meslier. A header from Ashley Phillips that could have got them right back in the game, but he headed wide and Leeds were ruthless. An excellent away display from Daniel Farke's men. Joel Pirou the hero, and the final score at the Bet365. Stoke City 0, Leeds United 2.
Thank you very much, Kevin Hatchard on commentary alongside Chris Iwelumo. Chris, the Liverpool, Liam, too many screens in front of me. It's been a long day. Leeds United obviously going top there with a very clinical performance, and especially from their striker Joel Pirou. He's up to 9 goals for the season now, and when you have a striker that can put those chances away, I know that he didn't put every chance away, that can really make the difference, can't it?
Yeah, of course. I think outstanding performance, wasn't it, from Leeds. Had to weather the storm the first 10 minutes, but then controlled the game. Won every duel out there. Quality coming in from both Frank Solomon and Dan James were excellent. And like you say, that's what you want. And goals come from everywhere, but Joel Pirou tonight, I was really impressed with the positions that he was taking up, just what he was bringing to the game, always wanting the ball, tight areas as well, and they had to work it really well. But 2 fantastic goals. The first goal was outstanding, and then obviously the second one, Dan James put it on a plate for him, but you still had to be there, work very hard for the team, and that's something this Leeds side do as well. Without the ball, they work very, very hard, but with the ball, you know what you're going to get. A team that's comfortable, a team that has quality, and a team that can hurt you at any time, and that's what they did tonight.
Yeah, I was going to say a positive night for any Wales fans listening as well, with Dan James looking good and Ethan Ampadu also not putting a foot wrong. So positive for them with the World Cup qualifiers coming up. We look ahead to an abundance of games. You know, we know how many games are going on, especially in the Championship over Christmas. And Leeds next travel to Derby County on Sunday, and that's going to be an interesting one, with Derby getting a victory earlier on today. That's you know, it's going to be another test of Leeds' away form to see if this is, you know, more consistency now as they've got another victory on the road.
Well, that's it exactly, isn't it? You know, the away form's probably the only kind of, you know, the kind of concern, but this performance tonight is kind of put that to bed. Can they then build on that going into Derby, who again will be high in confidence as well? So no, that's it. The bar's been set, you know, and I think that's what Daniel Farke will say to the players. He says you were outstanding, never put a foot wrong, clean sheet again tonight. So that goal difference, it's playing a massive part. So they have to build on that and take confidence from this performance tonight, and obviously take that into Derby.
You can't argue with that. Stoke City's next run of games not looking quite as easy. They've got Sunderland at home on Sunday. Then they've got Burnley away, which is going to be a really tricky one on New Year's Day. And then I think they've got a game that, if they don't get results in these next 2 games, could be a real test, really, because they're at home against Plymouth, who are currently bottom and really struggling under Wayne Rooney. You'd think if Stoke can't get at least a point out of that game, then they've got some serious issues.
Yeah, you know, there's pressure. There's pressure on every game, John. So it's a difficult one. You know, you're looking at the managers when they come in after the results. They have to then try and focus on the positives, because you know the games come thick and fast. There's not a lot of time in the grass to work at certain things. So you have to think what you got to prioritise it. But you've got to try and get confidence from somewhere. The players have got to take responsibility. But all ththese managers that are dying to get just 3 points, it's difficult. It's difficult, and they're under real pressure.
Yeah, they are indeed. Obviously, we have loads more live football coming up across the next few days or so. But thank you, Chris Owellamo and Kevin Hatchard, for commentary there from a very foggy and a very cold Stoke this evening.